What up, what up, what up? We got Mr. Outback himself in here in the house, Trevin. What's up, Trev?
Hey, buddy, that was a good time this morning.
Man, I'm telling you right now, for all you guys listening, we're here. Hey, what is it, Saturday afternoon? We just got done shooting at the, what do you call it, Golden Archery?
High Country.
Yeah, there you go. And I haven't shot there for about 2 years. You never shot there.
I've never shot there.
It's pretty cool, right?
It's a really cool course.
We have in the studio, we got the man himself behind the camera. My smart guy.
What up?
Skinny Codes. Codes, how'd you shoot today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Not as good as Louie.
Did you hear that? Not as good as me.
Consistently better, but I missed 3 targets, so that killed me.
So anyways, we got actually we got a really awesome podcast happening today with this man. I've been anxious to get him on here. Trev, how long have I known you now for?
Oh, I would say at least 6-8 years.
Yeah,
maybe?
I was thinking about 8, maybe going on 9.
Yeah.
So tell the people a little bit about yourself real quick before we hop into shit.
Well, I was born and raised in southern New Mexico. Thought I was Mexican till I was 11.
You speak more Spanish than me, that's for sure. Which ain't saying much, but you do.
Yeah. I thought Weddle was my middle name. I think moving up to Colorado, I grew up outdoors. My dad didn't hunt, but my grandpas and my uncles did. So that's how I got into the hunting and fell in love with it. Honestly, when I moved to Colorado, I was blown away by the amount of species. I mean, literally, I live in Windsor, Colorado, outside of Fort Collins. You can go within 30 minutes and you can see so many different critters.
It's crazy, right?
And so, I grew up hunting in New Mexico, did some guiding, and, 100% public land, right?
Yeah.
So when I moved up to Colorado, I started doing some writing because I'd always been a good writer. I had a 6th grade teacher, believe it or not, who taught me how to be creative and how to write, well. And people ask me all the time, how do you get in the industry? And I always tell them, pay attention in English class and learn to write. That's a great in. So what I did is I started writing articles on research and scouting for elk and deer and stuff on public lands. And ended up going to work for a company called Eastman's Hunting Journal. And in the early 2000s, and I was the research editor for them for a while. And, during that time, I was more and more falling in love with not just writing about hunting, but I started running cameras.
Yep.
And then I fell in love with photography and videography and all that stuff with cameras. And when I ended up, I left Eastman's, they were bringing everybody in-house, and I didn't want to move to Wyoming. And so I kind of went on my own. Again, continued to write for some different magazines, but I didn't want to give up on the video aspect because I really wanted to tell a story. I think there's a lot of guys that get into filming hunts and stuff like that for a couple of different reasons. Maybe one being just so they have a record of stuff they can show their grandkids.
Right.
But I fell in love with it because I'm a storyteller.
Yep.
If we're sitting around a campfire, I guarantee I've probably got 2 or 3 stories I'm going to tell that night, And
that's something I would say that I have not lost the passion of watching. I've lost a lot of interest on TV hunting shows, but I'm not saying this because you're here. Your storytelling on hunts are unreal. It's a real story, and it makes me enjoy it. Like the ones with your dad and stuff like that, like I can relate to that. Like that's awesome, right? But there's a lot of them that people think, I'm one of them. When I first got in this thing, all I want to do is just shoot stuff and thought it would be easy. If you don't have a good storyline or a good plot, dude, your show's going to be garbage.
I think really what opened my eyes to that was seeing the typical hunting show. When you think of a typical hunting show, even to this day, you think of, the hunter comes out, the hunter climbs up a tree, the hunter shoots a 180-inch buck.
Correct.
And that's there's nothing about behind the scenes. There's nothing about why that stand was hung there. And I'm not knocking outfitters. We use outfitters all the time. I got buddies that are outfitters. And when you pay an outfitter, what you're paying for is so you don't have to go out there and scout. You know what I mean? And then it's worth it.
But I think that's the fun part of it.
It is if you have time.
Yes. I get it. Yeah, exactly.
So for us, trying to produce 13 episodes, we're in our 12th season.
Jeez.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
And we are on the Sportsman's Channel. We're also on Amazon Prime now, and our older stuff we're kind of dripping that on, and that you would not believe the response we're getting on Amazon Prime.
That's actually a good accomplishment. Right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
I mean, it really is.
Right, and that was quite a. I got to throw a shout out to Solo Hunter. Tim Burnett, he really helped me navigate some of that and really encouraged us to take some of our older content that was on the shelf and introduce it to, it really is a new audience than what is typically the Sportsman Channel, Outdoor Channel type crew,
different demographic. Right. It's huge, actually. Yeah.
And especially with our storytelling style, if I look back at my influences, I have to say that my influence of the way I tell a story is much more cinematic, much more Heartland bow hunter kind of. But, we primarily hunt Western states, although we do hunt a lot of whitetail now, just because it's I had never been in a tree stand until I was 33 years old.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I grew up doing.
I know.
And
so in New Mexico, we spot and stalked everything.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I fell in love with the chess match, which is whitetail hunting. So you talk about preparation. That's where I fell in love with that preparation, the food plots. Where are you going to hang your stands? Oh, this year, last year you realized that was a horrible place to hang a stand. So now you're moving it.
Absolutely.
And it's all like moving pieces on a chessboard. But for us, I think when people watch our stuff, I hope they say, okay, wow, that was a cool story. Yeah, we might have killed a buck. We might have not killed a buck. I don't know that. I will say this: we do pretty good. We put a lot of critters on the ground. I don't think that somebody that just shows taking your bow for a walk. You do got to show that you can get it done.
You got to get an animal down.
But there are times when, if I'm being really honest, and killing is not the reason I do this, then I should be able to show that. And we do. My first Ibex film, I didn't kill anything.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing adventure.
Well, a lot of my listeners and followers already see my channel, so they know the not killing part comes with the territory.
Only PETA approved hunting show.
But I get it. But like, before we jump into Ibex and all that, Trev, I mean, from a rumor has it, and I know you and I both talked, but you're a little bit of a Lane Frost. Is that true? No Lane Frost?
No Lane Frost. I will say this. I never knew Lane. Lane passed away before I started riding bulls.
Oh, really?
And I wrestled, and then ended up, when I finished wrestling, when my wrestling career was done, I'd already had ACLs and shoulder injuries and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you had the work already.
Yeah, and so all my buddies growing up, not all of them, but a bunch of my buddies, I grew up in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and kind of an agricultural based, New Mexico State's there, big ag school. A lot of them rodeoed, but wrestling was my life. I was in seventh grade, I was 62 pounds. What else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Right?
You ain't playing basketball.
I ain't playing football.
Yeah.
Right? And I tried, but it just, well, I was really fortunate. My dad wrestled in college. My uncle wrestled for Iowa State. I mean, so I did come from a wrestling background. So I took to it really quickly. Growing up, my dad was a referee.
Okay.
So I traveled with him to all the tournaments he reffed. Here I am, this little rugrat. And so I would roll with on the mats with all the wrestlers. Yeah. I knew them all.
Yep.
Right? And as time went on, I'm like, this is my sport.
Yep.
This is my sport. And so I went through and, did really good. And I won state a couple times. And anyway.
That's cool, man.
When I finished wrestling, the kind of commitment that it takes to be a high level wrestler, mixed martial artist, boxer, whatever it might be. Heck, it could be a biker, right? I mean, a bicyclist.
Full-time job, man.
Well, I needed to pour that energy into something, and I said, I'm gonna try this bull riding. Actually, I started riding broncs, and then I saw these guys. If you won the bronc riding at the time, you would make less money than the guy who took 5th in the bull riding, because many more. Oh yeah, so many more people would enter. So
the pot went up. Then
the pot would go up, and they'd always have sponsors that would add money to the bull riding. Right? It's what everybody wants to see.
Absolutely.
Why do you think they put bull riding at the end of rodeos?
Yes, they
so
stay
people don't leave.
Yep.
Of course, usually there was a lot of times they do 2 different lines. They do one in the middle and one at the end. But so I remember I got on my first bull. I actually entered the bronc riding and the bull riding. I'd never been on a bull. I'd been on steers, growing up, messing around, and I didn't have a rope or anything. And a guy lent me his spurs, lent me a rope. They didn't have vests or helmets back in that days, and I just freaking tried. I literally hung on the side and got 5th in that rodeo.
Oh shit!
And that the first bull I ever got.
You made some money.
Made some money.
You're like, I'm in it.
Yeah, and at that juncture, I was bad. I was going to win the world.
Yeah.
I didn't ride 30 head after that, man. I fell off I couldn't ride a stick horse after that, because there definitely is, just like in anything else, there is a technique. And so you can take try can only get you so far. You got to get the technique correct. Yep. Same thing with wrestling. I mean, you start wrestling, if you haven't hit that move 1,000 times in practice flawlessly, you're probably not going to do it in a match against a good competitor. Yeah. So I loaded up and went to California, and I went to Gary LeFew's bull riding school. Slept in the barn because we couldn't really afford to, know. But and then I started riding, and then in about 3 years, that's all I was doing.
Really?
I
wouldn't think California would be the place where.
Well, that's where he lived. That's where Gary LeFew lived, and he had a little ranch there, and all he had was bucking bulls, right? And he'd bring people in, and he'd go through the basics, and then he had practice bulls, and.
Oh, okay.
So, and I grew up in Las Cruces, which is right outside El Paso, Texas, and in El Paso you have the Carrillo. As I would say, the Carrillo brothers, Adam and Gilbert Carrillo.
Yeah, we just drove through that.
Yeah, you had Tough Hedemans from there, Roach, his brother. Yeah, I mean there was it was a good hub, and New Mexico in general was a really, really good place for bull riding. Joshua Byrne started about the same time, actually maybe a little bit before I did. Shane Thurston was tried and true there, and guys that are into bull riding, have been for a long time, know those names. Owen Washburn was a friend of mine. I actually got a chance. I hung with him. Matter of fact, I took him on an elk hunt in Montana.
You guys get
later on. No, but he did get a mule deer.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, bull riding was, that was my new wrestling. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
And so,
have you ever get fucked up on that shit, riding them?
I got a story for you.
Let me hear it.
All right. So, I had just moved to Stephenville, Texas, because at the time that's kind of was a hub. Ty Murray was down the road. We're Jim Sharp. I mean, they're just the great guys I looked up to, and I moved in with Adam and Gilbert Carrillo.
Really?
They were in the NFR. They had been to the NFR a couple times. I mean, these guys were established, really good bull riders, and that's who I wanted to position myself with. And they took me in, man. They just kind of even though I was a year older than them, that was like their little brother.
It's kind of like how I moved to Colorado and Aaron. I let Aaron come in my inner circle.
Yeah, exactly. You took him under your wing.
How to shoot the bow and stuff.
It's just very similar to that. So then, and at the time, I was traveling with a guy, Monty Gallegos. Like I said, I really did think I was Mexican until I was 11. All my friends, David Garcia, Mike Salazar, Monty Gallegos. I mean, these are all my best friends.
Yeah.
And so Monty, we were traveling together at the time, and we'd gotten our permits in the PRCA, and we're trying to fill them. And Monty got hurt. He got hung up on a bull, and in the same wreck, he dislocated his shoulder and fractured his ankle. And so now I've got all these rodeos entered, and my traveling partner's in the hospital. And so off I went by myself.
No way.
Yeah, well, I mean, what am I going to do? I got to go to the rodeos, right?
Yeah.
So, and the way those rodeos worked at the time, because there was bull ridings, but the PBR had not happened yet.
Okay.
The guys getting together to form the PBR, that was around that same time,
Yep.
but they had not put on a PBR yet.
You just laid the you were like in the foundation.
I
of
was
when,
literally hanging with the guys that were trying to start the
Yep.
PBR, right?
That's kind of like what I tell Justin now. Like I'm like a pioneer of UFC,
Right.
Because the fight purses, like I got a bonus from the UFC, right? Justin's known for getting bonuses, right?
Right.
Every fight, multiple bonuses. My bonus in the UFC when I fought back in UFC 78, $2,500.
Really?
Justin's one of his bonuses is $50,000 now.
Yeah. Well,
9-day difference.
yeah, night and day.
And my guys were way tougher than I fought. Way tougher.
Hey, I will tell you this: you look at bulls today.
Yeah.
To bulls back in the day. I'm not. There were some rank franks then. Don't get me wrong. I made a couple of mistakes during my first year when I was trying to turn pro. Is I spent a lot of time in Texas and Oklahoma, getting on the rank of the rank. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were smart. They'd go to friggin' Florida or someplace else where they had rodeos, but the stock they were getting on wasn't the best.
Pee-wees.
Right.
Yeah, it was Pee-wee
I
compared
was an idiot.
compared to like probably Oklahoma, Texas.
So David
New
Bailey
Mexico.
out of Oklahoma, I end up going to Claremore, Oklahoma. And it was like 3 weeks before the 4th of July, big 4th of July run. And I got on Skulls Patrol. I remember him. I think Skulls Patrol, which was the bull's name, owned by David Bailey, kind of a Highhorn Bramer cross. And I showed up and I didn't know which bull he was. I just knew that he was decent. And I was asking around. I didn't know anybody. I mean, yeah. I'm a freaking rookie. And I'm not even a rookie yet. I'm trying to get my permit to become a rookie.
Right.
And I met this guy, and he goes, "Yeah, it's that's the bull. He usually does this, this, and this." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so I remember I got on, pulled my rope. He went out and he turned back into my hand. Now I rode left-handed. Now for a bull rider, a lot of bull riders ride better into their hand, meaning that bull's turning back to the left. And the reason, I'm doing the motions for those of you just listening, but the reason is if you get off your rope this way, okay, so I'm leaning to the right and my left hand is in the rope, I can pull myself. I have a better chance to pull myself back and throw my arm over my head to get my center of gravity back into what we would call the center of the well or the sweet spot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if the bull turns away from your hands and you get tipped into your hand, you don't have the muscle. You can't just, Jim Sharp used to do it all the time. Man, he was a pretty strong guy. But you got to kind of make a move around there. So I tended to ride bulls better in my hand anyway. Well, this bull came out. And at the end, I pull my wrap and I step off. And I step off into the well, and he puts his horn right in the middle of my back.
Oh, shit.
And then just pounces on me. And there was two bullfighters that were twins, Ronnie and Donnie Sparks. And I think that was their name. Sometimes I wonder if I make things up. Your memory gets fuzzy. But anyway, the bullfighter jumped on the bull's head, basically saved my life. But I remember waking up in the ambulance, going to the hospital, and they got.
So were you knocked out then?
Adrenaline dump? It was kind of, I didn't hit my head other than maybe when I hit the ground, but the bull was on me. And if you look in the middle of my back, I still have kind of a light spot where his horn was. Really? Now,
he left his tramp stamp on you.
He did. Cody Lambert, for those of you who follow PBR, Cody Lambert is still very involved in PBR. Cody Lambert had designed these vests, kind of after the ballistic vests, that type of thing. And you see bull riders, they wear them all the time. Well, we had all just ordered, or Cody was getting vests for everybody or whatever the prototype. I didn't have a vest on. The vest showed up 2 weeks later. Okay. And the only vests they had out at the time were hard plastic vests, and they were really hard to move in.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wake up or come to or get my senses. I don't know. I don't know if, anyway, I'm in the ambulance. I can't breathe. And they've got the oxygen on me. Well, I can't breathe because my mouth is full of dirt.
Oh, no shit.
So I ripped the oxygen mask off, and the ambulance people are trying to put it back on. And I'm just like, I just got to get the dirt out of my mouth. We get to the hospital. I can't feel my feet.
Oh, shit. That's scary.
So I remember laying on my back, looking up at the lights. The nurse is on the phone with my mom back in New Mexico. The nurse is in tears.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because I can't feel my feet. And I'm scared. And I'm like, okay. And I remember looking up at the lights saying, okay, God.
Yeah.
What do you got for me here?
Yeah.
And what had happened is everything had swollen up around my spine and kind of, I wasn't paralyzed, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it felt like that. So my blood pressure, they couldn't give me anything for the pain. My blood pressure went down finally. They give me some stuff. Everything relaxes. I can feel my feet. I'm in Claremore, Oklahoma. I'm probably 5 hours in the car from where I'm staying. I don't have any insurance.
Yep.
Right? The one guy I talked to at the rodeo about the bull shows up at the hospital. Okay? He shows up and he goes, I got your car. He found my rigging bag. He found my keys in my rigging bag. He found my car and brought it to the hospital for me.
Holy shit.
And he goes, he went and talked to the doctor. He said, the doctor says you're good to go. If you want to go, you can just stay at my house. Again, I know nobody. This guy takes me in. I laid on his couch for 3 days till I could get and sit up long enough to drive home.
Oh, my God.
And all he did is take care of me. I mean, just another bull rider, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean,
That's way cool, actually.
And to this day, I wonder, and I'm not trying to get philosophical, but, angels do exist.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you don't even know. I have a few that I probably owe them money too. It's bad.
So
yeah.
that's one of the things that I think that was a pretty bad deal. That was a bad rap.
Yeah, that's a crazy deal.
And then I sat in Stephenville for a couple weeks, and then made my last 4th of July run by myself. Traveled a ton. Got knocked out twice.
Really?
That run, and during that time, I think I really did some soul searching, and I was getting on to 24, 25 now at this time. I think my brain
what is like an average bull rider's like prime time?
Honestly, now some of these kids coming out, you look at 18-year-olds to, late 20s.
Okay.
They're just amazing. I mean, and the bulls nowadays are just stinking amazing. But for me, what I could have kept going.
Would you say the bulls are more dangerous back then?
No, I would say now.
Now
They have lined out this breeding program, and they are breeding these bulls.
Yeah.
I look at some of the bulls that are bucking out now, and I just shake my head, and because I know if I'd have drawn them in a rodeo, I'd have got on them. But you see these bulls that are just
you got shit for brains.
Oh man,
Jesus.
So I made that last 4th of July run, and I think that's really when I said this is not the life for me.
Yeah,
and that's when I moved back to New Mexico. I went for a little while longer, and then I just said, okay, I want to go back. I want to have a life. I want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to travel like that. I wanted a family at some juncture.
This is kind of crazy. I didn't even think about it. We had Alex
Nestor.
Yeah, out here, and he went to college on a scholarship.
And he is remarkably tall for a bull rider.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to say tall bull riders. Look at Tough Hedeman. Tough was tall. Lane Frost wasn't actually that short.
No, well, Alex says he fucking sucks. He didn't know how he got a scholarship, but he got one.
Well, and so for me, it was, I was about the right size. But you have to understand, I come from a wrestling background. The
Yeah.
reason I did so well was I was a leg rider.
Yep.
So I
You
had
rode those-
I had good hips.
Yeah.
I knew
hips.
I knew
Guarantee
where
the
my
hips-
body
yeah,
was.
You
Oh,
knew
yeah.
your center core. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably why you did so well.
So, but I did. I mean, I almost lost my left eye. I had a bull that I got welly on me, and the funny thing was, this bull looked like a Hereford, a big old Hereford bull. You look like you could go up and pet him. You know, but he turned back and got real welly on me, meaning that he flattened out, so he wasn't kicking to help me come to the outside again into my hand, which would be turning to the left. And I dropped down in there, and he came around with this opposite horn because his horns kind of came back in towards each other, and he hit me right here. I had 17 stitches right here. Damn. But I mean, how far is that from my eye?
Not very
An
far.
inch.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, when he hit me, he knocked me over to the other side, so I hung up. And you know how a head wound bleeds.
Yep.
It's bleeding right down I don't know if my eye's gone. And I'm hung up to this bull. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
crazy. And I look back and now it's kind of like I shake my head and say, man, what was I thinking?
Oh, I'm the same way. You know what's crazy is when I remember my dad telling me, like, when I first started doing MMA, it was like at the age of 20. I got out and I started doing it, and he goes, you know, all this shit's going to catch up to you.
Right.
I said, nah, Dad, I'm cool. I'm good.
Right.
Holy shit. I called my dad, last week, and I said, hey, Dad, you remember when you told me? Well, I told you a lot of shit. I said, you said all this shit was going to catch up to me. It's done past me.
Yeah.
It done caught up to me, man, like all the stuff. But that's what I'm saying, like, but as young kids and everything, and I should say young adults, we were good, though, right?
Yeah.
When you did bull riding, you couldn't wait to get back on,
Oh,
I'm sure.
no. I mean, it was,
I literally took some ass whoopings, and I could not wait to get back in there.
Now, did you have a wrestling background? Is that what got
Yeah.
you into MMA?
Yeah, I had a wrestling background, and I fought a lot. I fought a lot in grade school. I went from a Catholic school to a public school, and in my town in Nebraska there was not very many Mexicans in Nebraska. You know what I mean? And I fought a lot. I got called a lot of names, and that's one thing my dad says: as long as you don't start the fight,
Right.
I got your back.
Right.
But you do not let anybody bully you or talk about your family.
Right.
Right? You know, kind of same thing I talk about trying to teach my daughter
Right.
and my kids, you know, now. And, like, you don't need to fight, but, you know, protect yourself.
Right. And you have to be able to do that.
And there's this one instance where I was in high school, and this kid, I know his name. I won't say it, but he he called my mom something like, go back to my house and clean my underwear, do my laundry, and you know, the whole like spick thing and everything. Dude, I hit him so fucking hard. I knocked out his 2 teeth, right? Dropped him, and I jumped on him like a wrestler would, right? Like, because that's what I knew. And I remember just hitting the hell out of him. And I got up, and it was the principal that got me out of the lunchroom, and I didn't know. I just freaking I literally fucking threw him over my shoulder, and he flat on his back, and I looked up. I was like, oh, shit. I knew I was in trouble, right? Cops came down. They called the cops, everything. I got in trouble, but I was like, man, I'm in trouble, Dad. I had to call my mom and dad, and my dad comes into me. My dad to this day, he defended me. He's like, what did this guy say to make my son? Well, my dad came up to me. He goes, did you start it? And I said, no. And I didn't. I literally did not start the fight because I knew because I would have got my ass whooped by my dad. Right. Way worse by any of these kids, right? If I took an ass whooping. I said, no, he said this and that. And anyways, my dad stuck up by me, and he said, no, well, I got 5 days suspension from school, whatever. And then we got subpoenaed into court, right? Because I had to pay for his teeth and stuff. They wanted to take me to court for, pay for his teeth, and he had to get plastic surgery underneath his eye. That's how bad I fucked him up. My dad looked at me. He goes, God damn it, Luke, don't ever listen to me again. You're costing me too much money. But at the same time, like, God damn it, walk away. But you know what I mean? Like nowadays, it's a fine line. Like it's way worse nowadays, right,
Well,
Cody? I mean, like you can't do that shit nowadays.
No, you go to jail.
Go to jail. Period.
I think there was two defining fights in my life. One was a bully that I hated bullies.
Yeah,
because I was the small guy, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So-
I bet you got tried to get bullied a lot.
Oh yeah. But what happened was as my wrestling, you know, as
Yeah,
I
you
won
got the
state
fucking-
and you
yeah,
know,
they
people all of a
respect-
sudden,
they knew, yeah.
yeah. So, but early on, I was in 9th grade and I went to Zia Junior High, and I remember there was a 6th grader, or a 7th grader, so there was 7th, 8th, and 9th in junior high. Okay, at the time, and I don't know if it's still that way, but at the time, that's how it worked. And Anthony was his name. And I just remember he was a 7th grader. I weighed 9th grade, so I wrestled 85 pounds as a freshman, right? You know?
Damn, I take dumps bigger than that.
So, and I never cut weight. My whole
Yeah, I
my
guarantee you.
whole wrestling career.
I hope
I
not.
never cut weight because I always started at the small, and then I would just kind of go up with, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm 85 pounds. He's at least 120, maybe 130. 7th grader.
Yeah.
You know, a lot bigger, Mexican kid. I mean, just
Oh, yeah.
anyway, he grabbed me in the locker room one day, and he had been kind of a pain in the butt, just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of annoying, but he'd never laid hands on me. And I remember I was in a bad mood. I think my buddy had gotten into a scuffle or something, and I was kind of pissed off about it because I felt like he got mistreated or whatever, you know. And he grabbed me, and he put me in a headlock. And I'm like, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to let go.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So I proceeded to get out, and I just remember I went from 0 to 100.
Right.
And I actually lost my temper. I was really pretty even-tempered guy, and I lost my temper. And when I kind of came to, as far as to my senses, I had I had gotten him back into the corner where the urinals were, and of course the whole crowd is in the locker room, right?
Yep.
Kind of the side portion, right? And everybody had crowded in there, right? So nobody could get in, and I'm just sitting there, and I just remember hitting him, and I just remember, and I felt really bad about this because he is literally, I mean, he's his eyes swole shut, he's bleeding. And he's on his feet, though, so I must not have been hitting him right. I
Yeah.
don't know. And I never had boxed or anything. All I'd
Yeah.
ever done was wrestle.
You ever seen Tony Ferguson take an ass whooping and watch the cage
Yeah,
fight?
oh, that was a great. That was Gaethje.
People
Dude.
stand up though, takes ass whooping.
Right.
Period.
So I just remember looking at the crowd and saying, "Should I hit him again?" Well, I didn't need to do that. And he's done, right?
Yeah.
And I turned and I hit him, and his tooth came through his bottom lip into my hand. I still have a scar in my, you know. So anyway. Well, the PE coach, you know, the PE teacher had seen it all go down. And he was like, this kid was a bully, and he kind of let me go to kind of teach the kid a lesson, I think. And then he pulls us in his office, he gives him a towel, and he starts to clean him up. You know, he's bleeding. And I remember the coach said, "This is it. We're done. It doesn't leave here. You guys worked it out. You
That's
guys
what's
shake
cool
hands."
about
Well,
back then.
Well, the problem was we went to our next class, second period. Then third period, Trevin Stoltzfus, please come to the front office,
shit.
Trevin. Well, the guy, he was bleeding so bad he had to go to the hospital and get stitches.
Oh.
So I walk in to the vice principal. They tell me to go into the vice principal's office. My mom's already there sitting.
Oh, you're like, oh, I'm about to get the belt.
I didn't
No way.
because everybody said I only got suspended. He got suspended 3 days. I got suspended 1 because he started the fight.
Yeah, well, sure. You shouldn't literally got suspended. I hate that rule, but I get it.
Well, it was a rule that if you fought in school, you got
Yeah,
suspended.
period, right?
But my folks did kind of like your dad. You didn't start it. You finished it.
Yep.
You protected yourself, and that's so. I mean, you know,
Good for them.
yeah. But I just remember I felt bad about that because I didn't need to hit him again. He was done.
Yeah, I've definitely hit some people that I probably shouldn't have. I never felt bad.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Well, and then
Fuck 'em.
then the one time, and I was listening to you and Hunt Fest, Alex. your podcast where he was talking about bull riders liking to fight, and then you were telling the story about Montana.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so here I am. I'm in Show Low, Arizona. Okay. This is later when I'm a bull rider, right? Now, so I'm a bull rider, and I did like to fight. Okay. I was drinking at the time pretty heavy. You know, I was living the
That's
bull
what
rider
bull
life,
riders
right?
do, dude.
And-
well, Alex said he just loves the lifestyle.
Right. And it is
It's a lifestyle, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just remember I'm at this party and this girl, and she starts talking to me, and I know, I'm like, all right, I got this thing licked, right? So I'm talking to her, and then this guy comes out, and he's not that big.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably 130 pounds. He's probably 150, right? So he's not that big. And I'm like, oh, whatever. But I'm pretty much inebriated. So I'm about 6'4" at that juncture.
Yeah.
And I just remember he comes up and he goes, hey, she doesn't want to talk to you. Well, it was pretty clear she did want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he liked her. They had this on and off again thing going. And I just turned in and told him, I said, hey, back up so you don't get hurt.
That's the bull rider.
All right. Right. So here I am.
I always think Cody's a little bit of a bull rider sometimes. Maybe in your past life. Who knows?
Should have been.
So I'm, again, 5'7", 135 pounds maybe at that time. And I tell him, I try and warn him. I did. I try and warn him. I was trying to be nice. All I remember is he hit me 5 times before I hit the ground. Oh man. The next thing I know, I'm over the back of a couch. So if we're standing over there and there's the back of the couch, and he's still on top of me hitting me. He whooped my butt. I never had a chance to arm bar him. I never had a chance to sweep single, nothing,
Nope.
ankle pick, none of that stuff. And then I just remember going, okay, it's the little guys I got to worry about, right?
Yep, for sure.
So those are the 2 scuffles that I remember. Hey, you get a little lippy, especially when you're drinking, right? And
oh yeah.
Number one, you're not your reflexes aren't very good,
Dude, that's the worst part of it.
Yeah, but so
I literally what you just told me about that chair, you flying over. So there's this one time I fought at the Harris Casino in Iowa, Okoboji, Iowa. No, Council Bluffs, Iowa. I just got done fighting.
that's some good whitetail country, buddy.
Yeah, it's awesome. My brother played college baseball up there.
Oh, okay.
And it's the boats, right? They call them the boats. The Harris Casino, Maristar's up there, Horseshoe. It's a big thing. I have Tim Sylvia there, Tony Fricklin, Jens Pulver, Jason Black. I got all the Milicic guys there watching me fight, right? And I got a bunch of hometown people watching me fight. Well, this dude was like the next Matt Hughes, right? Let's say. And I took the fight, and everybody's like, dude, let's wait for a bigger show to fight this. I said, it doesn't matter if I'm going to fight him here now or 3 months from now. I want to fight him, and I'm going to beat him. Sure shit. I go in there, this motherfucker, weigh-ins, he's throwing chairs at me, he's fucking trying to make a scene. And I'm thinking in my head, he's scared. He's trying to get me scared, right? And I'm like, fuck it. I got this motherfucker. Sure as shit, dude. I go out there. I was nervous as fuck, right? So can you imagine this? I got sponsored by sportkilt.com. It was a Scottish company. We had kilts.
No
kilts,
way.
Right? Like real kilts. And we had to wear a kilt out to the ring, right? And at the time, fucking $1,000 is $1,000.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Right? Like, I'm taking $1,000 to get sponsored by Sport Kilt. I'll wear that shit. Cool. And
You'd have wore a
I would have wore a pink wig. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Times are rough. So I go out there. Well, every time before I fight, I get nervous. I get the BGs. I gotta take a shit. Right. Well, at a casino, I hate shitting in public, and I pad up the fucking toilet seat full of toilet paper. Right. Like I just pad it up like a nest. Take my shit. Right. And I get done, I wipe, I had the tight, wrestling shorts, right? Like the Valtudo ones. to fight on. So I put my cups on too, right? So I got a cup, my tight shorts, and I pull up, right? Do my business, wipe, go to the bathroom, pull my kilt around, and I'm getting ready to go fight. One fight in, I'm on deck. I'm out there fucking shadow boxing, getting ready to fight. I'm like, yeah. And I'm nervous because this motherfucker's bad, right? He's like, I want to say he's only lost twice, and one of the fights was to Matt Hughes, right? So he's a bad motherfucker. I went out there, and I swear to God, I take my kilt off. I'm in the cage, and I got a string of fucking toilet paper, like a fucking streamer, right? Like a bicycle streamer hanging out of my ass because the paper that I fucking took from the toilet seat was stuck in my sheet, right? And I'm running around the cage.
Was this televised?
No, this one was
good.
not.
Oh, good.
But it was recorded heavily, right? And we got a white piece of string, and the ring announcer comes over to me, Papa Stocky goes, bro, and I'm in the corner like waiting to get my announcement. Right. He's like, bro, you got shit paper hanging out of your ass. And I said, oh, fuck. And I pulled it. It just was like a magic trick just kept coming. So I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry. So all my nerves just went away, right? Like, I was like, oh, fuck. What the fuck? And well, right, we're in the moment, right? So we get called in the center of the cage. Like, I explain the rules, this and that, and this motherfucker's trying to eyeball me, and I'm all embarrassed because fuck, I got toilet paper on my ass. I got shit on. I was like, fuck it, man. Now I got to beat this motherfucker's ass because if not, I will never live this day down, right? I go out there, and I fuck this dude up in like 47 seconds. I put him down, but I honestly, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have been so nervous and been timid.
Right. Isn't that
I would
crazy?
have been timid. Yeah, dude, it was nuts.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
You know what? You need to do that before you shoot against Aaron.
I need to do something.
Just like when you're going up to that first target, and then I'll just reach over and go, hey, dude, you got toilet paper.
I got to do something, man, because I don't know. So today we also we shot at
High Country Archers.
There you go, fucking in Golden. High Country Archer. I'm mad because I've been trying to be a member at that place for...
Is it private?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron said he just got in.
Yeah, he just got in. And he pulled some strings, I think. I was like, what about me, brother?
Is there a waiting list?
Oh, dude. When I was on the wait, it was like back in 2006 at 186 people.
Wow.
I was like number 187th. And I was looking for the owner. I was like, dude, how do I get in here? I've been trying to be in. Dude, they have like a $10 waiting list. So I pay my $10 each year to try to get in. I'm like, can I just come in like once a month, twice a month, and I'll pay more?
A junior membership.
Yeah, can I get some kind of thing? I'll throw some videos out here. You know, I just want to shoot here, something different, right? So I literally just been kind of disgraced with that stuff. But we got the American Bowman up right in my back door here, so it's nice.
That's where we're going to shoot next week.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to talk about next is, so the big shoot is next week. Everybody's paying $100. There's 18 shooters.
All right.
And it's an invite only. And it's one of these things where me and Aaron we got done shooting, and I was like, dude, this shit would be fun if we had, you know, like the people that we like to mess with and talk to and shoot with, people in the industry. I mean, it's nothing that if you didn't get invited, it's not saying we don't like you. It's just I don't know, it was on top of our head, and we just started picking names, and we called them up, and yeah, you guys were in, and it's like pretty much what we're calling is the best of the best, right? I'm calling it the 2002 best of the best. Yeah, 2000. Fuck, that was a Lucanism right there. I'm drinking. What am I drinking today?
Hey, so Cody, I have been going through the podcast, right? I've been listening to a bunch of the podcasts that Luke started with number one.
Oh shit, you've been there from day one,
dude.
That was an F-bombing show, dude. Huh?
So here's are you ready for my, This is Luke. From what I've listened to of 14, 15 now?
We're on this. You'll be number 15.
Okay. Hey. Yeah. Hey. I mean, that's the big thing. Luke, you'll be talking to, like, especially with Snyder, because you guys were both feeling it.
We were bombed that first
And then
one.
all of a sudden you'd be in the middle of a sentence. He'd be like, yeah, so, hey. Hey. Okay, hey. No. So for real. Hey.
Dude, I had a debate.
For real. Hey.
I had a debate, honestly, of even airing that, but I took a poll on it. I was like, guys, this is not us. Because
It was funny, but I know you guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known you for...
That's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
The average eye, though, like a new show, I didn't want to put it out there in the wrong way. Like, we're not... I mean, we had potty mouths, but not that bad.
Right.
Like, Snyder has a drink for freaking, like, 8 years.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, so...
And he had what? I think he had like
dude,
3.
he had like 5 beers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he was
3
feeling
in,
it.
he was already saying...
Oh, yeah, he was like, fuck it, let's do this. It was good. It was fun. But... yeah, like I said, like I'm trying to go over the growing pains.
Yeah. Well,
And
the
I'm
one thing I
doing it.
like about listening to this, and again, you're not doing this for kids. I mean, this is
No,
an adult
it's
podcast,
yeah,
right?
it's definitely adult.
But I do like the fact that you're getting in people. One of the things I really respect about Joe Rogan is that Joe talks to people that he finds interesting.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it because he thinks that's what he should do next.
Yeah.
It's like you getting Alex in here and stuff like that. You know what? It's just interesting conversations, quite comical, because you guys,
Yeah,
you're a
we have
storyteller
fun.
too.
Yeah, well, in a different way than
Yeah.
you. I'm not cinematic.
Well, but I mean, but you've lived life,
Yeah,
and your attitude of which you take, you tell a story is the perspective is pretty funny. So it's a lot of fun.
because it's usually what I'm telling what I did and not, what not to do. Right?
Probably something stupid is usually what it is.
I know, but back to what Trevor was saying about doing like single legs. You got to do like 1,000 reps to know what to do to make it happen.
Drillers
like
make killers.
The technique part of it. Cody, this is on the podcast. I'm not bullshitting. Guys with longer reach, longer fucking taller guys do really good with archery, right?
Yeah.
They have that speed. Cody, you've only been shooting for what? This is your 7th, 8th time?
Something like that, yeah.
Second time shooting that foam in a tournament type deal.
Yep.
You're going to be really good once you start figuring out things.
Yeah.
I will give you that. But like what he just said about, like throwing a 1-2 with jab, you fought with me. Like throwing a jab, you got to perfect a jab, right? Same thing with that thing. I'm still learning. Please believe me. You guys know I'm still learning as archery. Dude, you will be really good. I promise you.
Oh yeah, well he's already shooting. He's making some mistakes, but the mistakes are just inexperience. It's not major
like
mistakes.
him peeking right away.
Right,
I told him that
exactly.
the other day.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm shooting left. I'm like, dude, you're peeking.
Right. And you get a guy like Aaron, even Frank,
Yeah.
because Frank's tutelage. Aaron's really
Fuck Frank. He only beat me by 3. I'm going to kill him next Sunday.
But it's one of those things where, I've been shooting for a long time, and I'm going through some issues. I mean, I told you I'm bringing
Yeah.
my hinge because I have been battling target panic, and I could.
How
go
did you get target panic?
for me?
Yeah.
I realized I had it. It just literally, I shoot a lot at my house because I kind of like you. I have kind of a range at my house. And when my pin, I literally could not get my pin out of the armpit of an animal. So I'd come to full draw, and I used to do the old come down on the target, settle the pin, and then start pulling through, right? Well, it got so bad that I would come down, and as soon as I hit where the pin, or the
What are you supposed to, the vitals?
wherever I needed to be, it was like a magnet took me to the armpit.
Really?
And it didn't matter what the distance was, okay? My focus point, let's say it was 30 yards, and I'm shooting my 30-yard pin, or maybe I'm shooting a 5-pin slider, right, where my bottom pin's my floater. It didn't matter. It would immediately, and it was rock solid, but guess where it was? Right in the armpit.
Yep.
And so I started reaching out. I actually talked to Joel Turner, Shot IQ, and Tom Klum. Those guys, and the mind behind it And I started to realize that there was that bracing reflex that came from when you take a gun. Let's say you're going to lay down. You and I are going to shoot some target, prone position, 243, maybe 25-06, whatever. And we're going to shoot downrange, plunk some things. I sneak a blank in on you. You don't know it. So you're bam, bam, click. What do?
Mike Parker.
A lot of times you flinch, right? Because you're bracing for
you
that
do, yeah.
explosion.
Plain and simple.
Well, the problem with bow hunting, and Joel Turner explains this a lot better than I can, and Tom Klum too, the problem with bow hunting is you're not going to dry fire your bow. Well, Cody, you might.
Hey, that's why I like Trevor. He listens. I love it.
I was there. I listened to that podcast when you guys.
I got in his dome.
Trevor, how many points you beat me today, bud?
Okay, one.
Thank you.
You're right.
But he did beat you.
Well said. Well said.
Beats the bucket.
But what you do is with a bow, you do the same thing. So you're looking for you're at full draw, and you're expecting an explosion. It might not be a loud explosion, but it's going to be energy transferred to take that projectile downrange. So that's why a surprise release is so good, and that's why I went to shooting not only a hinge release but also a back tension, because I have to pull through the shot, and I don't know when it's going to go off. Okay?
I don't like that.
I understand that. But I didn't like it either. But I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, well.
Right? Now, here's the crazy thing. I hunt with a trigger. Because hunting, I don't have that issue.
Yeah.
I don't.
Good. That's the way it matters.
I mean, it's really good.
I mean, there's money on the line today, Trevor, and it matters then. But either way, but that's when it really matters. But
today, I had a couple shots I didn't execute, and
it felt like it didn't go off.
I know I couldn't get it to go
I was
off.
like, when's this fucking guy gonna shoot?
I know, and you're holding your breath.
And then that time that went good, I was like, that's how it's supposed to go off.
But part of that is me practicing and ingraining that, and that's why I do this. So now, like next weekend, I won't be shooting that release.
Yeah, I wouldn't
because
shoot it.
I'm gonna be.
If you want a chance to be on the podium,
yeah. Right. I've got a pretty good trad partner. So Blake shoots pretty good.
Jake, that fool Jake or not Jake? You got Blake. Yeah, you got Blake. Blake is going to be so winded going up that mountain. He ain't going to be shooting.
You know what? Blake's just one of them guys that he's tough.
It's crazy because when we pulled these names, I was like, who the hell is Blake?
Yeah. Yeah,
and then I was like, I know Blake.
Because you had a beer with him.
Yeah, we drank at the ATA.
No, at
together.
The
I was like, fuck, I know
Hunting
that
Expo.
guy.
Hunting Expo.
Yeah, and ATA.
Oh,
though.
did you?
Yeah, dude, we sat at a table for like 3 hours.
So the thing for me though is getting back to Cody and the fact that Cody's new. What I like about Cody is Cody doesn't have these
bad habits.
Yeah, and so Cody.
All you gotta do is teach him.
Right. And if and he, I feel like you're a pretty good sponge, meaning that you soak it up, and when you make a mistake, you're like, okay, why did I do that? Like, and there was a couple times I'm like, dude,
you suck.
Well, you shoot low. You shoot low, right? Why did you shoot low? Because you dropped your hand and you're not following through, watching that arrow hit through your housing.
The real benefit of everything that I do, at least in archery, is everybody I shoot with is top notch. And that's not something that a lot of people have the opportunity to do. And it's the same thing when I was fighting. The guys that I was fortunate enough to train with were world champions of what they did. Right. And that was really all I did. I just listened to what better people tell me to do.
Bull riding. That's why I moved to freaking Stephenville, Texas, because I surrounded myself with guys that were 10, 100, a million times better than me. And I knew the only reason I was the guy, and guys like this, Gaethje might have been this guy. I was the guy that wrestled, let's say I'm wrestling, like my senior year of high school, I weighed 111 pounds. I wrestled 19s. Why? Because the lowest weight in college at the time was 118, right?
Yep.
So I knew college coaches wouldn't look at me if I won state again at 112. I had to win it at 119.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was the guy that I didn't work out with the other 112, 119 pounders. I was working out with 135. I was working out with 140 pounders. And I was, so the next best guy on the team, if he was a 140 pounder, that's who I trained with because he was good. And on top of that, he had a weight advantage. So that's my mentality, and I think you're taking that same mentality with archery, and I think it's good. And I'm going to tell you, I would put our core group of archers here in Colorado. You got your Phil Mendozas, you've got your Aaron Snyders,
100%.
Frank. I'm telling you what, I would take these guys and I would battle
Anybody from Utah,
any crew.
Montana,
Now, there's some good shooters out there.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, there is.
You got some Gillinghams out there.
You got
some Levi
some.
Morgans.
You got some
Yeah.
G dogs, OGs.
But I'm talking about
Triple
the
OGs.
regular hardcore hunters.
Period.
Yeah, I mean we
Period.
are so blessed to live in the community we have, and everybody pretty much likes each other. That's the cool thing. Like Jody today, I didn't even know.
I didn't even know he was there. I would have told him to chop in.
Juan is over. I mean, these are guys that are fellow bow hunters that we.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, yeah.
That's one thing I just like about archery, and that was one thing about the whole traditional compound thing, because before I got Aaron and then what's his name from Knock On Dudley. Dudley got him his compound, and I got Aaron a VXR. I wanted Aaron to shoot compound again. I missed when I first met Aaron. He was shooting a Hoyt, and we were gonna fight at No Limits back in the day.
I remember that,
Dude. Me and Aaron did not like each other at all. Well, it's not that we didn't like each other. It was like I got the wrong impression of him, motherfucker. I was fighting literally, and Phil was like, "Hey, I want to sponsor you with the bow," because I brought in a bear bow that I shot carp back in Nebraska, and I said, "Man, I got it ready to see now here in Colorado. I want to shoot elk, right?" So I took the bow that I had shooting carp with in Nebraska to this bow shop,
right, to try and fix it up.
yeah, I'm shooting fucking 20 pounds right now.
Yeah.
So I literally went in there. Phil, dude, No Limits has been my dogs from day one. Phil has been there from day one. And it's so crazy because we were talking the other day, like, man, could you imagine you doing this shit, what you're doing now? I said, honestly, Phil, I had no idea what I would be doing now. I mean, let alone have a podcast, have a outdoor TV show, let alone just even hunting. Like, we went to Texas this last week, and don't get me wrong, I love rifle hunting. I really do. I love shooting the rifle still. That's why I know I love hunting.
Right.
But you talk about the last day of the hunt, I bust out the rifles to bring back some Axis meat because I love Axis meat. I didn't even have an opportunity to draw back my bow, so it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were. Yeah.
It wasn't that, but I love bow hunting because I love the close encounters. I love the hunt. I love the hunt so much. You could relate to that, right?
Totally. There's something about that close proximity.
And Cody's fucked. Cody's fucked whether he likes it or not. He's gonna want to hunt with the bow, and he's gonna be with us more and do this. And it sucks, man, because sometimes we get that tag soup. And when I say sometimes, a lot of times with me, I don't know. But if we split up, maybe it's a lot better. I don't know. But like my deal is, like, well, this last year I shot a big whitetail, and I shot him in the liver, and I could not find that motherfucker to save my life. Man. I could not find that motherfucker. We literally brought guys from Colorado with dogs to come find the blood trail, and I couldn't find that because I wanted it. It was pushing high 180s, 190s, whitetail. I paid for that shit.
That's a hard lesson. I mean, it is.
That's bow hunting. Anybody who's ever say, like, when you shoot shit, and this is the thing, like, this is why I like the competition that we're doing today. If it cost me $100 today, me losing to Aaron, blah blah blah, I try to because if we out shooting fun, I don't really care. Like, I have fun. Right. It would be good video because I don't really care. But I'm trying to be somewhat serious. I literally try to shoot. I'm really trying to shoot the best I can. But with Aaron, it's fucking, I got to shoot great every time.
Well, and that's the thing,
Even with you.
Yeah.
And even with Cody now that I got to fucking really shoot with him because he's brand new, I got to fucking shoot now to show them you're a bitch. I beat your ass.
You beat me by 7. You beat me by 7.
Well,
I gave you a compliment earlier, Cody.
I think it's a pretty fun group, and I think there's a lot of kidding, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, but there's also there's some sincerity there. We like each other.
Yeah, but you
and
gotta
we
go.
When you're successful, it makes me happy.
Yeah,
and because we
plain
really
simple.
right.
It takes a little pressure off each other.
Yeah,
especially when you're doing the team deal, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's fun. But speaking of that, Codes, I know you and I both shot Axis deer in Texas. How'd you like that knife?
Oh, that Tito.
Yeah,
Dude, that thing.
Did you get to use it?
Oh, dude, it was surgical.
Fucking surgical.
Surgical, man.
We racked them up. We were at Big Sky Ranch, and they have the fucking top flight, like, awesome deal. Like, you go to Texas, it's a lot of high fence, right? Because they got a lot of exotics. We were at a place before that. It was crazy. But when we went to this ranch, Gaethje shot 2 Axis bucks with the rifle. He goes, I don't want to bring my bow. And I said, cool, man. I power to you.
Right.
Cool. I don't hate. I love hunting, period, right? And he tagged out with 2 Axis bucks. What'd I get? An Axis doe, right? Who's the idiot? Maybe.
Yeah.
And I still had to shoot with the rifle, right?
Right.
But
I hear those Axis deer though are keyed up.
oh, so here's one thing I've learned now. So we work with an organization called Hero Sports. They're a nonprofit organization that takes veterans out, right? And so they raffle off a lot of hunts to go on these ranches, right? And these ranches are 5-star. Well, Big Sky is a 5-star.
Awesome.
Ranch. Unbelievable, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
I want to go back there, and I'm not a big high fence fucking person ever. But when you go to Texas, guess what? It's a lot of high fence. And when you're working with a nonprofit, when you got guys that's been in service, you want to get them an animal.
Right.
Period. Right? So I don't care. It's not for me, it's for them.
Right.
So I'm there, I'm helping the cause. And period. Here's the thing. Me and Cody had the last day to I drove there to bring back meat. I was like, oh shit.
I gotta
bring some back some meat, right? So me and Cody's like, all right, let's get the rifles out. We got the rifles out, and we went on this ranch called Big Sky. He shot his first. I let him shoot first. I was trying to film it, and blows this doe out of the fucking galaxy, right? Then they give me the freaking rifle. I was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
What are you shooting?
It was a 300 Win Mag, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 300 Win Mag. Man, I got. And here's the thing: I don't care what anybody says. The place makes a great time. A guide makes a great time. Does all this, right? This guide was a Mexican dude that was so awesome, dude. He made so much fun. He's like, oh, you're a champion. He was talking to Gaethje. You can afford that, hun. You can afford that wildebeest. Shoot it. What else are you trying to hunt?
Kudu. And then Mule Guy.
A Mule Guy. Have you ever heard of those guys?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like a horse, and Gaethje's like, dude, I don't want to hunt that bitch.
He's trying to upsell.
He's trying to upsell him, right? And I'm like, he's like, what about you? I'm like, I just didn't win $600,000, bro. I didn't win that. No, I didn't win. Maybe after this next fight, let's come back here and hang out. Yeah. But anyways, it was a good time. We both got axes, and at this time, I want Trevin to take a pee because I think he has a pee, right? He's getting anxious. Okay. At this time, I want to give a big prop out to the one and only, the guy that helped us skin. Hey, Trev, come out this way. You're good there. The one and only Tito Knives, man. Guys, I'm telling you right now, Tito Knives. Trevin's having hard with the door.
I can't get out the door.
Because the cords are there. My bad. But hey, guys, Tito knives, ultra light, ultra sharp. I didn't even know they were in my pack. They were so sharp. Me and him was one blade. We smoked two does
2 does, yeah.
and Justin's Axis buck.
Oh, we did Cape, yeah. We Cape Gaethje's as well.
Yeah, so guys, if you guys are looking for a great knife, if you guys are tired of all the other knives and you guys want to help a small business, a guy that really cares about hunting, the knife that Aaron Snyder uses, yeah, maybe that's a big plug. I don't know. I'm not a follower. I'm a leader. Tito knives. Ultra light, ultra sharp. If you type in the GU15, oh shit, you say 50%, Cody?
It's not bad. It's not
bad. It's not bad for me and you to fucking throw that down in the code because me and you are both workers. You know? We're not Aaron Snyder level yet. You know what I'm saying? Someday.
I'm almost there with my shooting. I'm almost there.
Almost there.
Aaron only beat me by like 60 points today, so we're pretty close.
Only. But on that note, today I also rocked the one and only Shape Charge pack from Kifaru on the shoot. Man, that's been my go-to pack. I took it to Texas. I obviously love that pack. I love it, dude. The Shape Charge is the pack to carry, an everyday pack. I don't care if you're a businessman, laptop freak, travel in the airport. The Shape Charge with the Sherman Pocket is the one to go with. And I know Trevin, you're a big fan of Kifaru.
Yeah, and I've been a big fan of that 22 mag, and
Yep.
then and I like it. Don't get me wrong, but man, they came out with that Shape Charge, and I use that Shape Charge when I travel
Every day.
I mean, it's like that perfect weight. Now, mind you, I'm not giving my 22 mag up because if I have to haul out an elk quarter, I can release that and put it in between right there against the frame. But that Shape Charges.
Yeah, it's like that's been my go-to pack. Like I used to love the Urban Ruck. I think that's what is the day-to-day. It's just too small for me.
And especially you put a laptop
with the camera gear that I like to carry. But I'm telling you right now, guys, listen, the Shape Charge is where it's at. I can shoot my bow. It's like an Arturo with it, but with a little bit of juice on it.
Yeah, and it's perfect for whitetail because you just hang it right there.
Hang it right there. It's so nice. Dude, I'm telling you right now, the only way to do it, though, and I know Trevin's going to disagree with me on this, you got to wrap it in cryptic.
Hey, tell everybody about those quivers that just dropped.
Oh, shit.
I already tried to cop one, and Aaron told me to get in line with everybody else.
Yeah, so the quivers that Kifaru just dropped out, I've been seeing this quiver now for the past 3 months now, and I'm jealous. And I've been seeing the mods that's changed on it, and he's been rocking it. This hip quiver is the shit, guys. It's worth every piece of penny that you got.
And it's not expensive. It's actually affordable. And it's the new field quiver. You can get it with the belt. You can get it with the extra pocket. You can get it with the actual water bottle.
Yeah.
Holder.
If you have everything like that, though,
you can just put it on it.
You can just put it on because I already have a belt, a Kifaru belt.
Right.
I already have a fucking Elgin bottle holder. All I need is a pouch. Whatever you can put on any large or medium belt pouch on it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's nice.
And it's slim enough. It's not, here I like today I have a Hoyt quiver, and it's a hip quiver, but it's bulky. It's really bulky, and this thing is slim. It's slender. It's got a strap for your thigh, so you don't, you're not whacking yourself. It's pretty sweet. I told Aaron told me the same thing. Get in line, buddy. But I'm telling you right now, people, go to the website and pre-order, because if you don't, they're not even going to start shipping them until the 4th of July.
Yep,
right. Get your order in, because they are going to be. You won't have it before hunting season unless you get your order in.
And here's the thing about it, like, it is so an everyday deal. Like, if you're going to shoot every day, dude, it's really a key. Like, my deal is I take the pack, right? And I have my arrows in it, and I have my quiver. But I took my pack off because the shit got serious. How many times do I shoot with my pack when I'm hunting? Not so often. I usually drop my pack and I go in after the animal.
Yeah, you're stalking. Yeah.
Right? So I try to drop my pack and try to make it as real as possible. With that hip quiver, it makes it real nice, dude. You can keep your binos. You got enough room to put your binos in the pack, your rangefinder, fucking lube, fucking extra shit.
And I'm not a big fan of the old binos and the quiver.
I'm not either.
I prefer them around my chest.
Dude,
but
that brings up another big thing, dude. I just got hooked up by Leopold up in the Izzy. Right here. It's right there. You point it right there. You're rocking the same one that their partners are with. Who's your buying harness?
Marsupial gear.
Dude, they got it down.
Yeah.
They're partnering up with Cafaro.
Yeah. So Marsupial, honestly, Jim is
Awesome.
He is the man, and
Awesome.
I've known him for a long time, and I think one of the things I like about that. Hey, did I just do a Luke?
Yeah. Hey. Wait. Listen. Hey.
No, I'm serious.
It's contagious. Say Saskatchewan. Oh shit! I did it right.
You did it right. No, but it is epical. So with Jim and Marsupial gear, I had tried the Alaskan. I'd tried what's FHF
Yep.
or these other ones.
Yeah, all of
and
them.
the problem and this is just me. I didn't like when the flap came up because it hit me either in the chin or
You
something
can't
like
shoot
that.
like that.
And then so you fold it over or tuck it in so that. But the problem is when you're belly crawling, your binoculars come out.
Yep.
And
100%.
so finally, it came to a point, and I saw this, and I talked to Jim, and when I had tried it, I'm like, this is the bino harness for me, because even though he's gone through like 3 or 4 different upgrades to the inside, so it's even quieter, but you've got your pouch for your rangefinder. Heck, if you're a guy that carries a
GPS,
whatever, it's a great system. And I'm like I said, they don't quote unquote sponsor us as much because I've helped them with some feedback and some different stuff, but it's all we wear.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you right now, what they got going on right now, and I'm so glad when Riza hit out at Leopold, said, I got a new buying horse for you. You're gonna love it. And I said, God, I hope it is better than what your last one is. She goes, 90 difference. I got it. I swear to God. Guys, if you're a Leopold fan, get this harness. It's $100. Get online. Get it. American made. It's on.
Yeah, and they just opened up, and I haven't been there. I need to go see it. But Jim just opened up a huge warehouse / facility. I mean, I've seen pictures of it. Looks pretty
where's it at?
In Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, in the Phoenix area. Yeah.
Dude, I love him. I don't know anything about him, but I love what they're doing.
He's legit.
Changing the game.
Yeah. I just think it's easier. It's coming. It's that whole idea of hunters making products for hunters.
Yeah, and they're just trying to help.
It's like
blow it up.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
harvest a better animal, harvest your deal, whatever. It doesn't matter. My deal is, hey, if you're gonna wrap it in cryptic, it's sold for me. Sold. And I know you're a big Sitka fan. I know you. I love it. I love it.
I'm convinced that 95% of camo is for us.
Yeah, it's all what you like.
And honestly, because of the eyesight of most of the animals that we hunt, other than turkeys, they see in a grayscale, and movement is king. Movement is king. And the reason I know
100%.
I know that for a fact is because my grandpa killed a lot of critters.
Dude, I got you right there. I'm right with you right there.
Flannel shirt and a John Deere
fucking
cap. Right?
Lumberjack fucking flannel. Someone get a cigarette out of a tree stand.
But I will say this. The quality of clothing now.
90 different.
The technical gear. And one of the things I like about Sitka is the layering system and all of these things. It puts you in a position to be more comfortable. You stay out in the field longer. You're quieter. All of these things add up.
Yeah.
And if it was up to me, I would rather be wearing comfortable clothing that if it does get wet, you dry out quickly, versus
100%.
the old school.
100%.
Right.
And that's why I'm a fan of Cryptek, because they bust out that new line called Altitude. And guess what, peeps? It's an expensive line. But guess what? If you drop my name on that code, Luke-Cryptek, you're going to save some money. And it's a surprise when you do it. You're going to love it. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Hey.
Luke-Cryptek. Hey. Listen.
I love it. All right, Luke, I want to ask you a couple questions.
Oh, shit. Trevor's going to ask me a couple questions.
So when you're
Cody,
no math, please.
Cody,
no spelling.
No math.
You got my back on this, Cody?
I got you, buddy.
We're not going to do technical arrow questions, none of that. Talk to me about your mindset when you're telling a story, when you're filming a hunt and you're telling a story. What gets you going?
I'm honestly, like, I'm a student of the game. I've always been a student of the game. This is this whole, like, I never, like, if you would ask me I'm on my fifth season now, fifth season now, would have ever thought I'd be here in this predicament, hanging out with you, hanging out with Aaron Snyder. Aaron Snyder's asking me, hey man, I want to move up there next to you. Where can like, dude, I would never ever put myself in this predicament, ever. But I'm going to tell you right now, if this is all about, from all you listeners, if you hang out with piece of shit people, you're going to be a piece of shit person. If you hang out with guys that have a vision or I would just say a vision, someone that wants to do better, right? You're going to do better. And that's my deal, is like, I want to do better for everybody. I'm here. I want Trevin to do better off of this podcast. I want you to do better. I want you to get another 100,000 followers. I want you to do the best. I want Amazon Prime to kill it, dude.
Right.
Because guess what? That gives all the other hunters some hope, right? Gives some kid hope. Me, I'm doing a podcast because I'm not the Trevin. I'm not the Aaron Snyder. I'm not Fred Eichler. I'm not the Jim Shockey. Okay, I'm not that guy. I'm just a kid from Nebraska that moved to Colorado that wanted to fucking do this thing.
Well, and I think it comes through. There's an honesty and a transparency to that. I also think, though, that you're not scared to put yourself out there. There's a lot of people out there in today that you won't see them do like what we did today.
No,
right?
man.
How many people were
to go like to be on Aaron's feed?
Yeah,
is priceless, but you're also getting exposed.
Right. And
right?
and how many people were standing, Cody, watching us while we were shooting, as some good shots, some bad shots. But that's an added pressure. And there's a lot of people that won't do that.
People don't realize that.
Yeah. They won't put themselves in that position because, well, what if they do shoot the 5 or miss like we did?
Oh shit, you're Trevor from Outback Doors. You have a show. Yeah. Oh, I have a TV show. Guess what, guys? We're humans.
It's just this, man. My whole goal, and I hope when people watch our stuff that they get this, but my whole goal is just to tell a dang good story.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I want you. My mom and dad don't hunt, right?
Yeah.
So I say this, and this is kind of oversimplified, but here's how I say it. I want my mom and dad to watch this cool little film or show or package of digital media, and they aren't cold, they're not wet, they're not tired, but they get the adrenaline.
Yep.
If they can grasp that, I've done my job right.
100%. Back to your question, like what makes me to do a storytell? Dude, when I first started this, dude, I came out here from Nebraska. We were just whitetail hunters. That's it, deer hunters. And I came out here and I heard my first bugle, and it's so funny, man. I'm one of my buddies is a Thornton cop, PD. His dad is Richard Dare, and he took me out to his house at Black Hawk when he lived up there, and we just hit it off because he had all these antlers and deer heads, and I was like, man, this is awesome. He's like, man, you ever shoot elk? And I was like, I never hunted elk in my life. I live out here now, and I was just fighting at the time. He goes, put in for this unit. and you should get it. I'll get you an elk. And I was like, Rich, are you kidding me? So guess what? I came a Colorado residence. I gave up that $38 resident whitetail tag in Nebraska because that's what I'm comfortable with. But I didn't want to hunt elk out here because it was $500, $600, right? So I became a Colorado resident because I lived out here. I was long enough, and I did it. And I said, Rich, I'm a resident. He goes, all right, it's what, 50, 60 bucks now, whatever. I'm in. Let's shoot it. And he took me out for that first year, and I shit you not. He goes, we went out on a couple calls, and nothing happened. And finally, my mouth gets me in trouble. And me and Rich just he's a Marine. I love this guy, dude. He goes, I told Rich, I said, Rich, if you give me an elk, I'll take a nice warm load in the mouth. Right? Thinking, I just want to see an elk, period, you know?
Oh my goodness.
Right? So long story short.
You if there was a line right here, you really jumped over that line.
I hopped that shit coming from Mexico to the fucking United States. The wall ain't big enough for that. So I said, Rich goes, okay. We set up in this field, right? And he goes, be ready. And I'm like, I'm range finding all these little areas that I know where, 30, 40's out of this timber, right? Because if he's going to call this elk and it's going to come out of this timber, right? And I'm like right in this open prairie with this little thing, and I'm buckered down. And he starts calling. Man, he sounded like such a good little slut, dude, little horny little cow. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's good. And I shit you not, here comes this 5x5 out. And I draw back on him, and he stops broadside with me. And I shoot it, and I smoke it. But it was a little back. It was like an 8 if we were on a target, right? It was like an 8, like a high lung, right? And Rich goes, and I looked back at Rich. I said, fuck, man, I shot back and high. He goes, it's because you heard my zipper, didn't you? Oh, man, I love Rich. Dude, I really do love Rich.
That's crazy.
But that was my first experience with the bow. And I want to say,
did you get the elk?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And it was an experience that I would never, ever forget. I won't forget, man. When you said you were 33, I think, I was probably 28, 27.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, so if you think you're too old to do this, no, you're not.
Yeah. And it's so different, those two worlds of that. And I'm not knocking whitetail hunters in any way. It's just a different mindset. It's a different way you go about scouting. It's a different way you set yourself up for success. And then you go over and now you're Western hunting. Well, I came from the other way. So you come from the whitetail.
Yeah, 100%.
And I come from the other way of, like I said, okay, there's an animal. I'm going to go up to this ridge. I'm going to wait till the thermals change. I'm going to drop here and I'm going to shoot that elk.
100%.
Right? Or try and call it in.
Way different.
But for me, whitetail hunting, you climb up this tree. And when I started whitetail hunting, I didn't know anything about it other than don't fall out of the tree.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And I didn't know why the person I was hunting with had a stand there. I mean, I didn't own a stand. I didn't know where do you hang a stand when you're whitetail hunting. I didn't know any of that. I just knew, go climb up that, boom. And I remember the first whitetail I shot out of a tree stand. It was probably maybe not as quite as exciting as the elk, just because it's such a big animal. But I remember having that whitetail come in and figure out, body language. When do I draw? I mean, I got deer all around me, and I've got to shoot this buck here, so I've got to come to full draw. Well, the advantage I did have is I knew animal behavior, and I knew how to read it, and I knew what I could get away with, and I was able to come to full draw, shoot that stinking buck, and then of course that adrenaline dump happens, and it's not that cold, but I'm sitting there shaking like it's minus 30 degrees because the adrenaline along with the that whole moment hits you, it's pretty special.
Yeah, dude, and that adrenaline dump is so huge because it's one of the things I can't wait to see Cody. Like Cody here, he's never hunted an animal with his bow. And I can't wait to see it because it's something that you and I you take a lot of kids
Won't
out.
happen. I'm a stone cold killer. It will not
I
happen.
can't wait for it to happen.
And
I really do.
might be. You might be.
I love it, dude. I love that. I love it. That's the attitude you need. I want that confidence. But you take a lot of youth out. And how fun is that, though?
So my daughter killed her first turkey with a bow.
That's
this
what's
year.
awesome.
And I took here's a cool story because Nebraska shut down, and I normally take my nephews. From
Did you
New
get a tag
Mexico.
before they shut down?
I got a tag, but I didn't get my daughter's tag.
Oh, you an asshole.
I know, and I was gonna buy it at the same time, and I didn't. And I thought I'll get it next
You
week.
a cheap ass.
No, it was actually my nephews. I have 3 nephews I take.
Oh,
and then
shit.
And then my daughter. And I was just going to buy them all at the same time.
Yep.
It's what, $12? It's not even that expensive for youth.
No,
youth. Right?
youth.
So I didn't think about it. So there I am. They close it down, and my nephews are just, they're sending me pictures every day of them shooting their
Devastated.
bows, right?
Yeah.
And so I have to find a spot. Well, I found a spot in Colorado.
Good.
I went ahead and I bought their tags just in case Colorado
Yeah,
decided to
she
do the
shut
same
down
thing,
too.
right?
Who knows?
So I take them out there, and we end up going on the western slope, not quite to Montrose, an area over there. Brad Hart is a guy that I was introduced to, and he had a little property. He said, "Come, we've got some turkeys."
Awesome. That's what's.
So I took him out.
Good job,
my
Dad.
daughter.
Good job, Dad.
My daughter shot her first. And you talk about stone cold killer. My daughter, she has no idea. She's a good shot, but she doesn't get nervous.
Jesus.
My nephews, on the other hand, have been practicing, right? My daughter shot enough. She doesn't really practice that much, but she's still a pretty good shot. But my nephews were so nervous. All of them missed with their bow. My daughter shot one time, killed it. Yep.
Good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
Can we get her on the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. She actually,
A killer. Can we get a killer out here for once?
She actually, my nephews did kill a turkey, but they got the scattergun out, which is fine. That's no problem.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But it was pretty cool because to see the difference in how calm my daughter was in reference to my nephews. She's just like, some people are stone cold killers,
Yeah.
and you might have that. The buck steps out in front of you, and you're just like,
I will preach about this because I got to drop him a line on this motherfucker. We were talking about stone cold killers. My buddy Walls, he does a lot of work for me. He does walls to walls. He does these flags, these custom flags.
oh yeah,
They're
awesome.
nice, right? He does these cups. He does all kinds of stuff. He does keychains. He does everything. So this is a buddy that I grew up in high school with. He runs a business, walls to walls. But I said, hey, come out to Texas with us. Come out, dude. You do a lot for me. Come out with us with these vets. You're going to kill some shit. Well, he came out. He brought his bow. He brought a rifle. And he was all about his rifle. Because that's what Nebraska does. Nebraska, there's probably some stone cold archery killers there. Jay Downs is one. But I'm just saying, what I grew up with, it's all rifle, right? And then when I meet a guy that shoots bows, that likes it, like my buddy Walls, and I said, Walls, bring your bow. We're going to shoot something with your bow. He shot 2 animals, right?
Oh, quick too.
Dude,
Great shots.
he was honestly, I was more impressed with his bow skills than anything. Honestly, he smoked Texas Doll, cheap, 23 yards. I was like, holy shit.
You got the hiccups.
Yeah, I've been drinking that lead slinger, bro. Look at that. Shit.
Wasn't that full when we started this podcast?
That's how I do things.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Listen.
hey.
Hey, listen.
But yeah, you're right, and it's pretty cool to see someone like that who puts himself in that position, and they're just ice water in their veins.
It's crazy on how they do it, and because I don't think they have the feedback of what everybody's heard,
And I'm going to tell you this same thing, Cody. I honestly believe that you have to pick and choose the feedback you take,
And be you.
And you just got to be you, because if you take too much, then you go to that other side. I don't know if you guys play golf, but you play golf. It's the same thing. It's swing thoughts, right? You can go and on the range and you just driving them right down the middle, right?
100%.
But then you go and you get in a position and now you're thinking about everything you got to do. You're going to shank it. It's just it's going to happen. But you start listening to everything. It's like you, especially with archery, I call them swing thoughts with archery. You can't have swing thoughts. You got to go back. You got to hit your anchor, execute.
I think you had a couple of those today.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I had more than a couple.
Me and him were teammates. I was like, God damn it, Trevin.
Oh man. But then
I did too, though. I can't fucking say I didn't have that.
But you have to say the shots that I actually executed everything right, they were money.
Money.
And then there was a couple of weird shots, like the one when I hit the post.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, that shit was, I would have never took that shot.
No, not in a hunting
hunting
situation. No way.
No, never.
So for you listeners, here's what it is. Imagine you have a 2-rail, basically
picket fence, like a
split rail
split rail fence, right?
Yeah.
And you've got 2 sheep bedded on either side. So
I love the course. I do
did too. Yeah. So one was probably 43 yards. The other was 50. Okay. So you're trying to say, and it's not a high fence. It's 2 rails. It's probably only about 48 inches tall. So you're having to say, I think you had
I
to
sat
figure
on
out-
both of them.
Yeah, so you sat on both of them. I shot the decent shot that I had, and I just aimed right in the middle of the post, knowing that my arrow was going to go over it. And then when I got down for the second shot, I did sit like you did, and I shot. And the problem was I wasn't even the vertical post on the left side. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was looking at the horizontal post, and I hit the vertical.
That's when a guide like me comes into play.
Yeah, exactly. Where
Like,
were
I'm
you?
batting 1,000 right now in my guide service.
Are you?
Straight up.
Um,
I'm
because
killing
Luke
it.
doesn't have to shoot anything. He just has to see it.
Maybe I'm a better guy than 100.
Hey.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Sometimes it takes a better hunter to be a guide.
Yeah, I don't know. I get it. But here's the thing. I want to talk about real quick before we're chitter chatting, and I love it, man. Maybe this will be a 2-part series. I don't know, but I want to talk about this.
Oh,
Shirt I'm wearing right now.
I eat ibex. Yeah.
Tell me about this, guys. If you guys have not seen this film, it's worth the purchase right now. Trevin, right now, was it The Rock?
There's actually 2.
Is this the trailer right now?
Yeah, that's the trailer.
All right, cool. Let's
I mean, just look at that. Look at the top. Look, I mean, that mountain right there it's the Florida Mountains in southern New Mexico. I actually just did a big round table about this, and it's one of those situations where you're shooting, like in this scene right here, the goats are directly below me, and so if you use your Leupold with the range compensation, with the angle
Which
compensation,
they got it down.
right, and I go and I hit that, it tells me what my distance to shoot it for, right?
Yep.
So in that instance right there, I was just about to come to full draw and the goats busted, but I had ranged them at 32 yards.
Yeah.
When I took my angle compensation off, it was a 90 yard. The true line of sight was 90 yards.
Yeah, that's a great point to know. If you guys, like, who would have ever thought my podcast would be informational? Damn it, I love you, Travis.
Well,
hey, listen to this shit, boys and girls.
And if I might just get on a soapbox here, talking about hunts in mountainous, and I know Aaron does a great job of this, and the Hamsky Archery,
Yeah, I
the
love
Hamsky
them.
crew.
Love it.
But if you don't know what your third axis is, what third axis is,
huge thing.
then you're at a real deficit in the mountains. And
You're
and
fucked is what you're not.
Here's what I'm going to explain to you real quickly. Is go to Hamsky Archery. They have some great videos on this, and I'm going to try and dummy this down. With a bow, you have first and second axis, and those have to do with your level of your pins, okay, and the squareness of your sight to your bow.
Yep.
Okay, a lot of that people say, "Oh yeah, I get
I'm
that."
good.
But third axis is very different. If I can grab this Taito knife.
It's a big knife. Take it easy.
For those of you who are listening, you're not going to get to see this. For those of you might go the actual YouTube for this because I'm going to show you. If this is my pin, okay, third axis is this right here, okay? And people say, well, what does that matter? Well, it doesn't matter anything on flat ground because if I'm shooting, and let's say I'm aiming, and this is my pin, and I'm aiming at my target, and if it's like this or like this, it doesn't matter because it's still level, on level ground.
100%, yep.
What happens when I go like this? And now I square my bubble up.
It's a game changer.
It is actually out of level if your third axis is not set. Now, same thing up. So when you're at a 45-degree angle down or a 45-degree angle up, if your third axis is not set, and I don't know the exact, but I'm going to give you a round number. If you're shooting at like 60 yards, you can be anywhere, as depending upon how many degrees you're out, anywhere to 3 to 4 inches left or right.
Oh, it's bad too.
Yeah. So here's the key. A lot of people and a lot of bow shops set third axis for you. Okay, so Cody, you got your bow, you take it into this shop, they put it in a bracket, and then they rotate it to 45 degrees, but the bow is at rest. Okay, and then they set your third axis. That is wrong, and here's why I'm going to tell you that's wrong. You have torque on your riser, and the reason I know this is because Sean Greathouse and Andrew Munsell, who started Hamsky Archery, proved this point to me many, many times.
And it's 100% accurate. I promise you this, guys.
They took a laser and put it on the end of your stabilizer out of your bow. So now if I'm aiming at that Leupold on the far wall and I have one laser, then they took a laser and put it on your arrow. In a perfect world, I put that arrow in my bow, and I have 2 dots on the wall, right? Lined up, one right above the other. The moment I come to full draw, they do this. So what I'm doing with my hands for you listeners is I'm coming apart anywhere from 6-8 inches. And what that is it's the riser giving the torque of the riser. So the only proper way to set your third axis is at full draw. So Hamsky Archery came out with a level that actually mounts to your bow so you can come to full draw and you can come to the 45 degree. You check your bubble on your sight with their bubble that's on the riser. And you match them up. And now all of a sudden you've adjusted, and you can do it in your own friggin' garage or on a door jamb.
Door jamb.
Right? And so I always tell people one of the first things I do is, of course, I'm getting everything set, making sure everything's right. And then I set my third axis, especially in the mountains. So this hunt, the Rock, is on the Florida mountains, and it's 2,500, maybe 2,800 vertical feet of here you have the desert floor of southern New Mexico, and there's these cliffs that come straight out. And it's the lowest success ratio in North America for big game, the highest abandonment rate on a hunt in North America.
Oh,
the average,
I saw it, dude.
The average before people just quit, because it's usually a 15-day season, is a day and a half to 2 days, and they quit because the mountain is so unforgiving. So I got on that spiel because I think that's important. If you're going to do mountain goat hunting or sheep hunting or whatever, you got to have everything right. And just because you're on flat ground, and Phil Mendoza taught me this. Shout out to Phil at No Limits Archery. Just because you shoot 60 yards on flat ground in your home range with no wind blowing does not mean that's your effective range.
100%.
So all of these factors.
I learned that go hunting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you think plains is fucking pretty much flat, but it's not.
Yeah.
There's little hillies up there.
Right.
It's not. You gotta literally. And I'm lucky enough to have a hillside up here where in my range, so I kind of know. Right. I tune for what animal I'm hunting. Dude, it's so important. Third axis, and this is what I do. I take all my shit to bow over at No Limits.
Right. Well, that's what there's a reason he's called the Bowfessional.
Yeah,
because he's
good.
He's a bow whisperer.
And I can call him and be like, dude, this shit is not working for me.
Not right.
He's like, well, you can either bring it in, or I can FaceTime you and try to tweak it a little bit. And what do I end up doing? Taking it in, because my tweaking is not his tweaking.
No, and here's the crazy thing. Bow will take my left-handed bow
Yeah, I
he
know.
can probably shoot it better than I
know.
can.
I know, dude.
The guy's
it's
amazing.
It's nuts. Well, the good thing is now Aaron lives like 8 minutes away
Right.
from me, right? So he got a bow press, and Cody's gonna go up there and get his tweak on today or tomorrow, and I gotta take my bow up there to get my tweak on because, like, I honestly like, and I know Aaron wasn't shooting that fucking goat with the compound when we went up and he shot that goat. He was shooting a stick, but goddamn, dude, it would have been different. It would have been great. You know, I'm like, this is what I say. That unit is what I'm putting my goat unit tag in. One, because I know I can hike it
Right.
and do it. Like your ibex hunt, I look at it and I'm like, fuck, man, that's a fucking haul.
Yeah.
People don't realize what you guys did up there.
Well, and the tough thing about it was, and I got to give all the credit to some of the camera crew because
You got it.
they're walking as much or more than I am right with me, and that's what made that. I the first hunt was in 2014, and I hunted 15 days and never shot an arrow. The second hunt was 15 days, and I killed my goat. Well, now I'm giving away the goods, but I killed the goat with 30 minutes left of last light. So that's 30 days on that mountain.
But here's the thing, guys. If you guys want to experience a hunt like that, like, what are they hunting that shit in Russia?
No, that's Iraq.
Iraq. I'm sorry, my bad.
There's some ibex in Turkey. These are Persian ibex, or more proper to say is the Bezoar ibex.
Yeah.
I think that's how you.
Did you eat it?
Oh yeah,
How is it?
dude, I made it with red chili. It
Oh,
was delicious.
shit.
But I think you could eat a skunk with red chili.
Yeah, I like red chili,
delicious.
dude. I really do.
So that's what I did. I made a lot of red, what we call carne adobada, which is a red chili meat.
Yep.
And
Can you make that now?
dude, I will. My crew demands if they're gonna come film a hunt with me, I have to have a batch
okay.
of red chili.
How do I book a hunt with you right now? Because I'm a fucking animal. I want to come and get. That's one thing about Arizona, dude. So being with Gaethje, right? Like, we hunt in Arizona. We hunt coos deer, javelina, mule deer. And I've been out there in Arizona. Dude, their red chili is on point, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in Las Cruces and Hatch. Of course,
Yeah,
Hatch chili,
the
right?
shit.
I mean, that's just north of us, and you everybody was involved in chili in some way or another. And I still, to this day, my folks buy the box load of frozen roasted green chili, and I get red chili powder and stuff like that. And I like to cook, so I make some pretty decent Mexican food. So, or I should say, Southern New Mexican food. It's definitely flavor of us.
As long as it ain't chain, I'm good, bro. I'm good with that. It's good.
Yeah.
Cody's over there like a garbage disposal.
Oh, I love it all.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we should be tighter friends because you like to cook and I love to eat.
Did we just find out we're best friends?
Yeah, are we just best friends? I love it.
Here's the thing, Trev. That hunt, like, when you text me the whole film, and thank you for that, because it honestly, like shows me more appreciation of what you do in hunt. I've watched your show growing up, even before I got in the game, right? Like, I got to take my hat off to you, because, one, I came in here like a little essay thinking, fuck, I'm going to show all these bitches how to do it, right? It's not like that, guys. I thought I was going to come in here, get all the sponsorships, get all these companies to come with me and work with me, and I'm going to live fat hunting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like that, is it?
People, maybe it's what we put off. I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's a grind. It's a grind. It's not just during the fall season when the shit's happening. It's all year long working with these companies.
I literally just finish editing the last show because we air third and fourth quarter on the Sportsman's Channel, and I just finished airing editing. Garrett and some of the guys, we're actually finalizing color and audio because Garrett does all the final color and audio.
He's a G.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a
And,
G.
and before him was Dustin Etheridge. I mean,
Dustin's a G.
Dude.
That's the dude I like. I
Yeah,
like that
I
dude.
mean, these
he
guys
moved to
are-
Texas?
no, he's still here.
Is he
Yeah,
really
he's still
good?
here.
I like that
He's
dude.
actually doing a lot of media stuff for a company that sells big ranches.
Good for him.
And so, I think what people don't realize is I haven't made any money doing this. I'm going on 12 years without back outdoors, right?
Hey, I'm so glad you said that.
But-
Because here's the thing, man. Everybody that comes to me like, man, you got the life. Like, motherfucker, I'm working to do this life.
Right.
You
gotta love it.
What is your job, Trevin?
So I'm a sales rep for a company called Hunter Engineering, which has nothing to do with hunting, by the way.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm
I've
saying.
been with them for 20 years, and I'm
Yeah.
a factory rep. I'm a 100% commissioned salesman. So as you can imagine how much money I made during COVID,
yeah, nothing.
0.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I did edit a lot. But what I do is, and the money that we receive with our partnerships, it goes to pay for all of the camera crew, all the
100%.
production. I mean, and I do a lot of production, and I don't even take a paycheck. And people don't understand that. They think kind of like you.
I
think,
know, man. I get
if
it.
I could only do what you do, dude. If you tried to do what I do, and I'm not saying other people can't do it because they do, but it's not all it's cracked up to be. And I hope I'm not coming across like
No,
I'm making $1 million because I don't.
Here's the deal. Here's the difference between me and you. We're black and white.
I'm
Whatever.
white.
I could be.
You're
He could be
black.
white. I could be black.
Or
I
I'll
don't
be
care.
black.
It's not a racial thing. Believe me.
Is this that song with Michael Jackson and who is it? What is it? Ebony and
Right.
Ivory.
I don't know about that. Fucking this motherfucker.
What are you talking about?
This
Black
motherfucker.
and white, right?
This motherfucker is acting like what?
Everything you want. Everything.
So here's the thing about Trevor. He has paid cameramen, editors, this and that, and done it. And don't get me wrong, I've done that too. Not as long as him because my budget and the sponsors that I rep won't pay me enough to pay that.
Come on, step up.
Right? No, it's true. You got to prove. Like, people
Yes.
come in this game, and like I was one of them. I'll tell you guys straight up, good luck. I want you to do it. I really do.
Yeah.
I want you to do it. I came in thinking I was going to grab a different demographic, which I did. I am, and I'm doing with the MMA community.
Yep.
But guess what? The outdoor community, it's slivers, man. And what you're going to get. Slivers. And I'm talking big companies, right? Like
Yeah.
you and I both work with big companies.
And some of them I've worked for literally for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's loyalty there.
Dude.
But there's also companies that there is no loyalty. And it's unfortunately, and I'm not knocking them.
No.
They have a business to run, and
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, man. I've been there.
You know, somebody, when I first got into this, somebody was sitting across a big manufacturer, the marketing manager for a big company, and he told me, he looked across and he said, I've known you for a while, Trevin, because again, I had met him through Eastman's and some of the other things I did. And he said, when you've been around 3 years, we'll talk. Okay. So what he was saying is, look, you have to prove yourself first.
Period.
And you know what? We still haven't talked. It's 15 years later.
I get it,
because
man.
sometimes that relationship isn't just a good fit for either parties. And if you're not willing to say that's okay, here's one of the things that I would encourage people to do, and Aaron does this very well, is don't give up on things that you believe in. Like,
100%.
if I didn't think that Spot Hog was the best darn sight out there, and I went and I shot XYZ or HWM or whatever some other company, because they offered me a nickel more, I would be being untrue to myself.
100%.
And I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, I've done that. There are a couple things that I'd think, this doesn't matter. I'm going to make $5,000 on this.
But guess what? At the time when the bills come in, you have to do that.
Well, I thought so.
You have to do that. I respect that.
I thought so. But I learned.
I was literally at that point, and then I stopped.
Right.
Thank God I stopped.
Yeah,
Because I was like, fuck it, man. This ain't fun for no more.
and it cheapens, and it literally, not only does it cheapen your, not that I have a big sphere of influence, but it cheapens what you say when I tell you something, or when you see me shooting XYZ. I hope that you can say, well, there's a reason Trevin trusts that brand.
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to say anything's the best.
No.
Because I think that's way too. That's a minutia of
Everybody's
of
different.
yeah.
Everybody has their cup of
But
tea.
what I will say is, in a situation where we're using XYZ product, here I am holding this knife up. There's a reason that you like this knife.
100%.
Okay, and the quality's there. Now, if this knife was junk, and they offered you dollars to say it was good, and then it failed you in the backcountry, you'd be pissed.
100%.
And you wouldn't necessarily need to be pissed at the company. You should be mad at yourself.
Here's
you sold out.
100% on truth on that on me right now. Like, I'm in the MMA game. I'm in the fitness world. I'm this and that. Do you guys ever hear me plugging a supplement sponsorship? I don't.
I've never.
Never. Because guess what? There's a couple reasons. Not that some of these companies have hit me up and say, hey man, we want to partner up with you. Nothing against them. Nothing. But guess what? If they ain't USA or USADA approved for my fighters to take, you gotta look at a guy like Justin Gaethje, right? If let's just say Wilderness Athlete, Mountain Ops are the two main companies right now in the outdoor industry. Let's just say that.
Yep.
Or Ryan from Warrior Fuel.
Warrior Fuel.
Those are the three big companies right now in the outdoor industry. I have nothing bad to say about any of those companies. I won't. I literally don't. I've taken them. I both have. But if I give them to an athlete that's getting paid $1 million, right, and USADA comes and takes a piss test for him, and they pop up dirty, guess what? I'm fucked.
Right. And it could be that they just didn't get the VAT cleaned out before they made from somebody else's
Yeah,
product.
it's all about who's hand me down
Right,
are they
exactly.
getting it from.
Right.
So that is why everybody hits me up. They're like, why don't you have a nutrition sponsor on you? Because this is why. I'm coming out of the work. I've had Mount Ops, Royal Few, Wilderness Alley. Everybody hit me up like, hey, how can we work? Guess what, dude? Until you get
approved
on this thing where I can give my athletes this, and there's companies that have, it's just I have not taken them yet to see really if they're worth the shit. I really don't. I'm not trying to make money off of this, the whole deal. I'm looking at my fighters because that's what's making the real money. Period.
Right.
And it's all about, did the supplements work? Yeah, they work. Take it. It's gonna help you. If you're gonna get drug tested and fined $50,000, it's not worth it, right?
Right. Exactly.
Hunters, take it.
Yeah.
Take it. I take every supplement you can take. If you're trying to buy off the internet, do it, dude. It's gonna make you perform better or go up the mountain higher. Yeah, take it. But I cannot endorse a company that isn't gonna be okay for my fighters to take. And that's where I'm at.
Sure.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Is whiskey good for my fighters? Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, we've been going a while. Hey, I want to talk about one thing, and that's the fact that 21 years ago I started applying for moose in Colorado, and I drew it this year. Finally,
Hey, Trev. Honestly, I got two buddies that drew it. And like the buddy I told about the zipper joke, we were out 3 years ago. He drew a moose tag, and we went down to 28, and he got one, and it was awesome, dude. And when he told me how long it took to draw this tag, 19 years, dude, 19 years, and I put my elk tag down. I put everything down to just help him try to film it and capture it, because guess what? To this day, He's so thankful that I captured it because he can show his grandkids.
Oh, I know. How cool is that?
That's, we were talking about like, why do we film this shit? Why do we do it? Dude, it comes back to like, when I first got in this game, it was just because I moved from Nebraska out to Colorado. And when I heard my first elk bugle, I was like, dude, my brother's got to hear this shit, dude. It is the most epical shit I've ever heard in my life, dude. Right? It was.
Exactly.
It was. And like, it really was, dude. Cody, you remember your first one?
Yo, it's crazy. It's
when you're in the shit, right? So
When you get into an elk, what I like to call an elk fest, a rut fest.
in case y'all don't know what that sounds like.
There's nothing better. You get into that moment in time where it seems like you can do no wrong. A lot of times you'll just put your call in your pocket, and they're going so crazy around you that you just let them do it.
It's so crazy, and you're like, man, am I in the right position? Yeah. You just hope to pray, but at the same time, when you record it, that's why I started filming my hunts and I just wanted to share it to my brothers. And then when I was like, fuck, man, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. I really want to share my story I didn't think about the outdoor industry at all. Right. I just wanted to show people that we're in the MMA game. Honestly, I did not know anything about Outback Outdoors. I didn't know anything about Aaron Snyder. I didn't give a shit about Jim Shockey.
Right.
I didn't know. I watched a few outdoor channels on Sportsman, and I was like, I can fucking do this, dude. I want to share this to my people.
Right.
It wasn't about me being famous. No. It wasn't about me being fucking this guy on Instagram, because I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to have fun showing people that, guess what? The average Joe can come out and do this shit.
Right. Yeah. No. And I think,
as long as you're not in my unit, I'm drawing for motherfuckers.
I think that's the core of what a storyteller is, and that's,
I will give you this, Trev. You are a great storyteller.
Well, I appreciate that.
No, because what people don't understand is a storytelling is not just, hey, I want to capture this moment and tell a story. They think that.
Right.
But when you get a camera in the field and you get a wild animal out in the field and you get hunting situations and you get camera people, you got to get cameras on the animal. They have no fucking idea how hard that shit is.
Well, and we don't do retakes. We never, ever do recreates.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you fucking said that, because nothing against a lot of these other fucking shows that come out there and do it, because I like a lot of them that do it. And I get it. It makes the story better.
Jen, I disagree, but I'll tell you why I disagree in a second.
I got a pro and a con of it. Okay.
Okay.
It makes the recreate great. Like, they get that caption. The average audience gets that fucking, okay, this is what he's doing at this moment, right? It's a recreate though. They don't get that. They're focused on the animal. The camera guy is focused on the camera. Unless you have a budget that got two guys, one guy on the camera, on the animal, one guy on the fucking shooter, right? You get that budget. But guess what? If you ain't Steven Spielberg, is that right?
Good. You did it. Yeah.
I was gonna do a Lucasism, but unless you have that coin, that quan, you're not gonna get that. And I know you're all watching this on outdoor TV, this and that, but it's a lot of recreates, and nothing against it. It makes a great TV, this and that.
Now let me jump in here, because I want to tell you one thing. Seriously, I think if you set a plan, if you have a field producer who sets a plan,
which costs money.
It does, and you have to have the right guy. So you're right.
It does cost money.
It does. There's no doubt about it. If you have the right guy, though, you don't need to do recreates. One thing I hated about outdoor television is, okay, here Luke is. Luke's getting, Bull steps into the opening. Luke comes to full draw. Guess what the next scene is? Cameraman's out in front of Luke, filming back. like the elk's behind him. Well, that ain't going to happen. Number one, it's unsafe.
Never.
Number two, it actually pulls the audience out of that moment, in my opinion. So what if you had a cameraman that has Luke, okay? Luke, the bull steps into the opening. Luke comes to full draw as the cameraman is zooming past Luke into the animal. Now,
That's what you create.
you create a solid, fluid sequence. Now, there's a difference between B-roll and there's a difference between recreates. B-roll is capturing, if you look at a scene, you have different parts of a scene. You have audio, you have visual, you have, if you're in person, you're going to have smells, okay? You're going to have all of these different senses, right? Well, with TV, we don't have some of them, so we've got to go with what we can capture, and that includes how do I tell the story of how cold it is? Well,
Yep.
in a situation where you're breathing and I can see your breath, a close-up on you with your breath coming out, I just communicated how cold it is. It might not even matter that was shot within that same sequence, because as a filmmaker, you have liberty to tell a story, just like my story. If I tell you about that kid, the bully that I punched in the mouth and his tooth came through his lip into my hand, I have some freedom to tell you that story how I want. Now, you don't know if am I embellishing that?
100%.
But that's part of the storytelling aspect, okay? And so I try and be true to the storyline, but I try and get you as close to the actual event without you being there as possible, right?
100%.
Make sense?
Yep.
I don't believe, though, that in a situation where the action is happening, that you fake things, because you don't need to. Because what if it's really action-packed and you jumped up, Luke, and you had to run around the bush, and I'm the cameraman, and I have to follow you? There's a lot of chaos and all the, well, that's
It's
how it
true.
happened.
It's true.
And if I was with you, I would be moving and bouncing and all of this to get behind you to see what happened.
Raw.
Right.
Raw.
Right.
It's raw.
So how do you make it look polished and raw at the same time? That's the key. Look at some of the greatest movies of our generation, and you'll notice you have lockdown shots, and then you have shots with movement, and even sometimes sporadic movement, because it's even that communicates something. So don't get me talking. I'm a dork when it comes to
No,
gear.
and that's the
and
thing about
to,
it.
to film.
It's the thing about it, Trevin, is like, what if you guys don't know, check out his shit. Period. Trevin, where can they find you?
You can find us on Amazon Prime, Outback Outdoors. Just go in the search, Outback Outdoors. You can find us on Instagram, of course, Facebook. We have a lot of stuff on demand. Vimeo, like this, the Rock, an Ibex Adventure, which was a 35 minutes.
I just literally watched it, rented it, and watched it. Dude, if you're at home and you're bored, or if you're home and you want to watch a good fucking deal, and you're tired of fucking watching Cam Hanes, Joe Rogan, whatever, I love them both, but guess what? Seek out, see what other hunters are doing. Guys, Trevin here with Outback Outdoors. 12 years, season 12?
This is season 12, yeah. Yeah. So
This is a true vet.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that I feel like I think I've come full circle. I think as I started on this journey, I thought I knew what I wanted to do. And I think I went to a point to where I thought I had made it. And now I've come back full circle to realize that I'll never make it. It's all about the journey. And that's what I love about it now. I'm okay to just be able to bring an adventure. And as we've said before in this, I'm not going to get rich, and that's okay.
100%.
You know,
100%.
If I can pay to have and I'll be honest, Luke, you can back me up on this, but just because a guy's a good cameraman doesn't mean you can live in the woods for a week at a time with him, right?
Yeah,
You
I promise you that.
So part of what I have when I go out with my camera guys,
You got
is
a
these are my
relationship.
buddies. These are my buddies. I've created a relationship. I enjoy having them in camp.
And that
enjoy-
is a bond that goes farther. Like, I know what I can pay this guy because I know he can capture it. But if I can pay this guy even more because I can handle it, guess what? If he lacks the skill of this, I'm gonna hang out with this guy.
I've been on some hunts that were amazing hunts, and I just didn't enjoy them as much because of
100%.
the people. Because of the people. You know, I'm
100%.
not one of those guys that can go into the backcountry for weeks at a time by myself. I will literally go crazy.
Here's the thing about that. I'm glad you brought that up. And I know we are way past everything. Fuck, dude, we should have skipped bull riding. We should have just came into this shit. Here's the thing.
Bull riding was important.
I know it is because y'all don't know about bull riding. We fucking bucked. Here's the thing.
What's
What Trevin is saying is 100% for all you listeners, and I know it's a lot of hunters out there that want to film their hunts and do this. If you don't like a camera person, or you got shit happening, guess what? The fun is out the door then, right?
I totally agree. I think
Is when hunting goes not fun anymore,
get out.
get out.
Get out.
And that's honestly, I had a fucking face to face with Jesus.
Yeah, you have
about
to.
this whole deal.
You have
and
to.
it was not even about Jesus. It was about me, about my family.
Right. And what it boils down to is when Luke Cadillo looks in the mirror and he sees the guy staring back at him.
Like, what the fuck am I doing?
You got to be true to yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to be true to me. If this is going to take off, I got to be true to myself. Right. Just like this podcast, right?
Right.
Guess what? I don't give a fuck what sponsor comes on. I don't give a fuck or whatever. I'm going to help them as much as I can do because people believe in me.
Right.
Or what I do.
Right.
I can't pretend on film
right.
anymore.
You're not an actor.
I'm not an actor. But here's the thing. I want to be true to people that are my listeners and my viewers of this is who I am. I am the average fucking Joe, right? I want to be this guy. I want to have great cinematic fucking videos. He's paid his dues. That's that guy. He's him. But there is guys that are just like him that don't get it. But 12 years of experience, listen to this podcast, guys.
If I could speak to a budding potential outdoor filmmaker, here's what I would tell them. As I would say, I used to think that I could not teach hunters to run a camera. I needed to get people from without the industry and bring them in and teach them to hunt. That does not work.
Wrong.
What I found is not every hunter has the ability to see and frame a shot.
Period.
But most hunters can keep their you-know-what together when the bulls are bugling and the adrenaline's going because they're hunters. I can teach them how to do their settings. I can teach them how to roll rack their focus, how to adjust their ISO, whatever it might be. That's a technical thing. I can teach them to do that, but I can't teach them to move when an animal. That's one of the hard things about a cameraman is
you have to be a hunter too.
They have to be able to read body language as much as me, the hunter, has to be able to. If I draw at the wrong time, what happens? I blow the animal out, right?
Period.
Well,
if the
cameraman moves at the wrong time, they blow the animal out. So I think that for me, number one, I'm sure you guys are taking notes on your Big Chief notepad here, but number one is you got to like the people you're in the woods with. Same reason you go on a hunting camp with the guys that you like to hunt with, right? Okay, 1. 2, you got to be able to have people you can trust when the adrenaline is spiked.
Period.
To be able to remember to hit. Are you listening to this, Cody?
Oh, yeah.
To hit record. And let me tell you something. Everybody's done it. I've done it. Cameron Haynes, when I ran.
I've done it. I've done it on a podcast.
I missed a buck for Cameron Haynes when I was running camera for him, okay, when I was with Eastman's. I'll tell you the story, and it haunts me to this day that I did this, but I made a mistake. We were in eastern Colorado, and we were sitting there glassing, and this big 170-inch mule deer stands up in this Milo field. And then 100 yards to his left, this big 170-inch freaking whitetail stands up. Which one would you go after?
Shooter.
Well, we
A
decided
big one, obviously.
the whitetail.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a whitetail, if you look at a 170-inch whitetail to a 170-inch mule deer, it's more like a 190-inch whitetail to a 170-inch mule
Yeah,
deer.
it's 90, yeah.
Right? So it's a little bit. So Cameron right away said, I'm going after the whitetail. And spot and stock whitetail, how cool is that?
Unbelievable.
Okay, so we get up, and this is way back in the day. I mean, this is the early 2000s. And we got around. Cam's a pretty sneaky son buck. Okay, I will tell you that. He's a good hunter. And I was probably 100 yards down. We figured out which row of the Milo the buck was bedded in. Cam kind of moved through, and he's, okay, he's glassing down the Milo. He goes, okay, he's right there. Well, Guy saved my butt on this situation. Guy was off the side where he was literally probably 80 yards away. No, he was further than that, but he had another camera, so he's getting the wide angle shot, right? I go behind Cam, and I move over a couple of rows. Cam gets over, so I'm the row that the buck is bedded on, I'm maybe 2 rows to the left. Cam's 1 row to the right. And I set my tripod up, camera up, I'm rolling. I know exactly where that buck is. And I'm going to literally just roll. And when that buck stands up, I'm going to have him in perfect frame, and Cam's going to kill him. No doubt about it. And Cam works down and gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and I'm running camera. And I see Cam come to draw, and I'm looking. Then I just concentrate on my viewer, my screen on my camera. And this is even before HD camera. We were still running SD cameras at the time. And I catch movement, and I think it's the buck standing up. Well, there was a doe with him. And so I pan over, because I'm zoomed in, right? But I'm back behind him. I'm wanting to get a good close-up shot. And this doe stands up. I move over to her. When I move over, the buck stands up, and Cam
You're not in shot.
And I don't get the shot on film.
Oh, fuck.
Right?
Yeah, it happened.
I screwed up. How many times have you heard about the double tap? Do you know what the double tap is?
No.
Okay. It's the dreaded double tap.
Yeah, Cody.
Okay, everybody's done it. Have you done it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the adrenaline spikes, and you're running. So what happens on a video camera is, you hit record, right? What do you do? What happens if you hit record again?
Stops.
Right. That's called a double tap. So you're recording, and the buck stands up, or whatever happens. The bull comes in, whatever, and the adrenaline spikes, and you go to hit record again because you want to make sure you're recording. And what do? You turn it off. It happens, man.
It does. In the
But
heat of the moment.
that's where you have to have your wits about you. Your
I
hunter's
did
wits
it
about
this weekend, or last weekend.
in
Texas. I
yeah.
did it last weekend.
But here's the
fucked
thing:
up.
if you do it once, maybe with Luke twice, but if you do it once and it's a serious thing,
That's my first one,
yeah,
honestly.
you probably won't do it again because
No,
now it's
I just
like
let it run, dude, because
Right.
the editor's
Right.
going to fucking kill it,
well,
right?
that's the thing, man. And we're
Let it
running
run.
we're running now on these
Let it
SD cards. Surely you got a couple more SD cards in your pocket,
Yeah,
right?
let it run.
It's not like back in the day, we were running on tapes. And when your tape ran out, it was a big deal to eject your tape, pull that out, grab another tape, put it. I mean, you can imagine the noise that
Yeah,
makes.
dude, that's
And
crazy.
so nowadays you just let it run. And yeah, it's the editor's job to go through but anyway, so I say that because along with those different suggestions I give for people that are wanting to film is I applaud you, man. I'm not trying to say don't do it, but don't fool yourself and think that just because you're on the Sportsman's Channel or because you're on whatever platform, YouTube, whatever, that all of a sudden you're going to have sponsors knocking down your door. That ain't going to happen. Here's my advice to you is find products that you use and trust and use them. provide valuable information and video that they
100%.
can use in their promotion. And guess what? They'll want to partner with you.
It's a win-win situation.
But if you do this, ask Aaron Snyder how much this frustrates him. If you do this, hey, Aaron, I really like Kifaru. Aaron's going to ask you, well, have you used the pack? No. Aaron's going to say, well, I'm not going to partner with you. You don't even know what the pack feels like. The first time I ever, because I had pack sponsors for a long time, and it was money,
I remember that.
right?
You had a few, actually.
I had a couple. And so when I went to Aaron, the first thing I did is I talked to him about the situation, and then I went and bought a pack.
That's cool. That's
and
good.
I used it. I stinking used it, a pack that I bought with my own money.
And guess what? It was the best fucking pack you ever bought.
And now when people ask me, what do you think of Kifaru?
Legitimate
can
fucking.
truthfully tell you from experience of having to spend my own money on that pack and what I liked and maybe didn't like. There's not much I don't like about it other than the fact that it gets really heavy when I put an elk hind quarter in it.
Yeah, you're a killer.
But, so I say that, I encourage people to want to partner with people within the industry because it kind of makes the cycle go round. But don't be fooled and think that you're going to go and get all of this sponsorship without bringing something to the table.
Yeah, man. We literally fucking can talk all night long.
Oh, dude, we
this shit.
haven't even gotten into half of our
I know.
list. That's okay. We can do this again, brother. I enjoy this.
I want you to come back. Here's the thing, guys. Trevin, where can they find you?
Okay, so if you want to follow us, Trevin Soltzvis on Instagram, Outback Outdoors on Instagram. We do some Facebook stuff, but if you really want to interact with us, that's by far the best.
Yeah,
Okay.
interaction is the IG.
Yeah, the IG. That's and I have a Twitter account, but dude, I can't.
I don't-
tell you
I don't
when was
hardly
the
use my
last
Twitter
time
account.
So I'm saying, get a hold of me on IG, or send me a direct message. I'm not like Aaron where I've got thousands and thousands of messages. I'll respond. And if there's a way I can help you, I will. I want to say thanks to Luke for, first of all, dude, we've been talking about doing this a long time, and this is fun. I enjoy this.
It's a good time, man.
And you and I have a lot in common as far as coming from a background of wrestling and then a love for hunting and a love for telling a story. So,
Well, I got to thank you because, fuck, man, you come all the way from Windsor, Colorado. We shot today. We didn't come too victorious. We won. We didn't win.
We won the JV.
Although next week you're my enemy.
Yeah, I know, but I still love you.
I know. I do too. Here's the thing. Next week we have the big tournament.
Who's all shooting in that?
We got the best of the best. Okay, we have the best of the best in this area. In that defense area, Aaron called out a few guys out of state. Jake Downs from Nebraska.
And then my partner.
Your partner's
Blake Hunter from
which
Dallas.
is a good partner to have because he could fuck. If a guy's coming from Texas to shoot a 3D tournament,
And I know Blake pretty
He's
well.
a fucking G, right?
He's the real deal.
hopefully he can carry your fucking back.
Yeah, I'm hoping that
Cody,
Cody,
this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we throw another fucking trad guy in to get you in it.
Well, I mean, if you're asking for the best of the best, I don't know why I'd be sitting on the sidelines because
All right. So this week I'm gonna see what's up we can do, but it's $100 entry fee. You know what I mean?
you got me.
And
Hey,
GU is not paying for that motherfucker.
Hey, why don't you get somebody from? I mean, Aaron's got to know some other trad guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
he does. So we'll get somebody. I'll get Cody in the mix because I love my boy, dude. Cody's my dude. Like he's my right hand man. He's like a brother from another mother. I do a lot, man. This guy came into my gym trying to box, trying to do jiu-jitsu, and guess what, motherfuckers? He knows it all now. I wish a motherfucker would, right? So, hey, honestly, guys, this has been a great podcast. Guys, if you guys haven't learned anything over y'all, unsubscribe this bitch. Listen, Trevin, thank you for coming
yeah,
down.
man, it's my pleasure, brother.
period. AKA my boy. That Slingers done fucked me up, I think.
Hey, 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 hey,
hey.
Guess what?
Hey,
Guess what?
But listen, if you guys haven't checked out Leopold Optics, my girl Riza, dude, hit her up. Leopold.com. Dude, check their stuff out. My new bio harness over there. What's your company?
Marsupial gear.
Dude, they partner up with them.
Yeah,
It's the
they're the
shit.
bomb.
It is really good. They are the bomb. Kafaro's partnering up with them.
Kafaru is?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's a match made in heaven right there.
Period. And speaking of Kafaro, Kafaro.net, you know, it's gear for life. Period.
And the best in the biz.
Best, like honestly,
I think, my personal opinion.
and hands down, Tito Knives. Here we go. Listen, GU15. Get yourself a pack, dude. They're doing a Father's Day special right now. Get on it. Hey, Cody, thank you for being here.
well, thank you as always.
Trevin, thank you for being here.
Rock on, brother.
Listen, guess what? If you don't know, it's too late. We out.